Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're doing commentary on the case.
Is that correct?
I didn't ask you to interrupt me. Literally not. Oh, for Trump's sake.
It's working! It's working! Mostly. Hey, look, they're my legs. It's a grand reveal. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We've got some cameras. Lighting is terrible. Oh my goodness. We're here though, we're here! Oh my goodness, that was terrible right at the end as well. Okay, this one, I don't even know. I've got, as you can see, my studio's a mess. My studio's an absolute mess. What was that sound effect? Did something just happen? All right, let's see. I don't even know where things are coming from. How do I got it plugged in, but I don't know how to use it. Okay, let's see what these buttons do. Okay, this is channel 1. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Three's our video. Okay, 3's our video. That's good. 3's our video. Okay, so 3, 4. That's me as well. Oh, that's a better 4 than. That's a better 4 than say like. Let's see, 5. Okay, I need that. That's for me. You guys, you don't need to see that. That's just storage space. 6. Why is 6 the same? Oh, 6 is here. Okay, so that's another computer. 7. 7 is, which camera is 7? Ah, hello there. I see you. Let's send you outside so you can at least watch the sunrise or something. Let's take a peek over the mountains. Focus, focus. Oh, it's super bright. That's no good. We can spy on the neighbors, apparently. So, all right. So we're not going to go there. What's 8? 8 is another computer. Okay. So. I don't know where the sound is coming from.
14 District Court is now in session.
We've got a court in session on one of our cameras. Oh, yeah, that's Judge Cedric Simpson. Okay, we're figuring this out. Welcome. Let me tell you, this was a mess. I thought when they said, yes, you've got fiber internet, I thought that I would actually have access to the internet, which is, I don't know why I believed that would be, a bit of a, obvious thing. But no, I finally worked my way through this. I am set up, for those that don't know, the reason why the studio is a mess and looks like this, and you've got a weird view on my bald spot. The reason why we're like this is because we have made it all the way to Utah. We're going to be going to the Corey Richards hearing here at the end of this week up in Park City, which is going to be great. So we'll be coming to you live from there, hopefully, fingers crossed. But I came down here and I'm like, oh, good, we've got an office. We worked out everything on this Airbnb. First of all, the Airbnb is beautiful. It's awesome. I'm coming to you from the master bedroom. We've got the master bedroom, a walk-in closet, a walk-in makeup room, and then bathroom, dedicated bathroom. It's beautiful. We've got the kids might be like 3 floors below us, playing a game really loud. I don't know, but I can't hear them, which is good. Oh my goodness, I think Greener's won the internet, and I'm not sure how to even put that on screen right now. I mean I seriously, I don't know how to put comments on screen the way we're running things. Because I'm missing one computer. I left one computer home, and that was, I don't know. Let's see if we do it like this. Pop out chat. There. And let's just shrink this one down. like so. Make this one full screen. Might be able to find, let me find a way to bring this in. What is this, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6. Okay, so it's camera 6. Hey. The view's terrible, but we're getting there. Okay, I'll do some work on that. I'll do some work, and we'll get some chat on the screen eventually. Maybe not today, but let's see. Let's put on there like that. Then we got the wrong source. Yeah, I've got a lot of reconfiguring. Apparently, I unplugged everything and it forgot how to work. But we'll get it up and running. At least the pieces are talking to each other now, which was better than how it was at about 1:30 this morning, when I was beating my head against that wall, trying to get this to function. So, oh man, it is morning. It is, you know what it is? Oh, you know what it is.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Hump day! Welcome to Wednesday. That's all I have in me. That's all I have. It's been a long trip getting here. Driving across the country. Just for the record, America is big. And we've seen a good deal of it. Let me see how I can see chat here. I put 6 over there. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now we're cooking with fire. Need the view to be different. Oh, man. All right. Live chat. I did sleep well last night. You know what? I have a camera. I can show you everything. Let's go to 6, 7, 5, 7. 7's the one we want. That bed is super comfy. Can I just say for the record, that bed is super, super comfy. And all that stuff behind me on the couch, those are the cables I didn't need to bring. That's that's what it is. All right, let me I can now see chat, but I'm still trying to figure out how to get it so you can see chat. It's going to be DSK4. Nope, it's upstream here. Let's see. USK4 inputs are going to be from channel 7. Yes, we slept in it. We made the bed. We woke up at like 6 o'clock, which felt like 8 o'clock for us because we're still on Eastern time in our heads. And of course, it was dark outside. We're like, what? This is weird. Guess we put that on air. Now you just see that. Why is it not switching inputs to 7? Huh. Well, that's a conundrum. I need to figure out a new buffer sound too. I left all the sounds. Home. Okay. So we need a buffer. Okay, I need that one first because that's gonna drive the mods crazy. Hold tight. We'll get to court here in just a minute. Where's buffer? Oh, guess what? Somebody's calling already. Hey, at least the phone works. Hey, Amber, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, this is not how I envisioned the setup being, but I've got everything working right now. So, well,
no, just know it's incredibly entertaining for the rest.
This is this is a lot of work. I don't have any of my custom commands. I left all my commands home. I thought they stuck with the account, but I have like none of them.
I don't know what to tell you.
Buffer. Oh, there's Buffer right here. Buffer. I do have them. I lied. We're just hiding.
I just thought you might need some emotional support.
I have the pieces put together. I just don't know how to make it work yet. Judge Boyd's trial is still going on. Can you believe it? It needs to end so I can get on with my life. Okay, I can't. Auntie Candy, I missed that. Amber, did you watch Judge Boyd's? I heard they were in verdict selection or verdict watch. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And they got sequestered.
Yeah. They did.
Good. I think that serves them right. I'm selecting audio file.
If I say much more, I'll give it away. And I don't want to do that. Are you good?
Okay, yeah. Can you trigger the buffer command? Well, hang on just one second. The buffer command is the only audio that's going to work right now. Can you trigger that? And let's just see if it works. That's coming in from 7. Right? No. 6.
There's such a delay on the buffer command.
Try it again. It should be working. It's a completely different sound, but it's one that I have on the computer.
Did you turn the volume up?
Job's done.
There you go. This is the sound for.
Job's done.
That's the sound for buffer. Is that okay? It says job's done. Do you know what that's from? Does anyone get the reference?
I can't hear it, so
you didn't
I
hear.
Can't hear it on the phone.
Job's done.
You can't hear that?
Not on the phone. I've got my feed turned down.
Okay, everyone else heard it. I don't know why it's not being triggered by your command. It's actually from a video game. It's from one of the Warcraft games. Not World of Warcraft, but a different one, like a top-down strategy game. All right, here we are. Okay, there we go. Sharon.
Are you good?
Well,
job's done.
There, it's working now. It's working. Okay, I see it. Sharon, I see the comment. We have some birthdays.
Can you allow us to sit down, though?
Hang on. Maybe and maybe not.
I don't know about anybody else,
working.
but it's Wednesday, and
it's working. You can sit down. It's working. It's working.
There it goes.
You needed me to fail. I cannot get. I'm supposed to be able to show the chat on the screen. I can see it in the pop-out chat, but I can't see anything else. Don't like that. Okay. Well, it is.
Could
what
it be
is.
because of one of those cables sitting on that couch?
No, all the cables are fine. The cables are fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Mrs. RA thinks I should tidy them up a little bit, but this way I know where they are. Let's do this. Let's sing happy birthday, because we have some birthdays here, and I wish I'll figure out how to get things on the screen probably today. Shelly, Susie, Catherine, Alita, and Amber all celebrating their birthdays with us today. And Amber, unless you want to lead out the birthday singing.
Nope, goodbye.
Okay. All right. She hung up quick. We're gonna sing to the wonderful people who have birthdays. Let's see. Let's see. Shelly, Susie, Catherine, Alita, and Ember all celebrating the birthday. So please join with me in celebrating these wonderful individuals. We do that by singing in song together. You know the song, you know the words, you know the tune, so there's no excuse, no matter where you are, even if you're in a carpool. Even if you're in a carpool on the freeway right now, headed to work, please join with us in singing to these wonderful people. But first, warm up so we sound good together. La 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 la. Sounds great. Excellent. Wonderful. Wonderful. Got dancers at the ready. Deep breath. Project your voice to the back of the room. Blend your voice with those of your neighbors. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Shelley, Susie, Catherine, Alita, and Ember. Happy birthday to you. To all those who are celebrating a birthday today, especially Shelley, Susie, Catherine, Alita, and Ember, I'm worried that I'm missing someone because I don't have a buffer command. Oh my goodness. Yes, happy birthday. I realize there are a million places you could be and a million people you could be with to celebrate your birthday, but you've chosen to be here with us partially. I mean, I'm partially here, somewhat. Live from the mountains, from the valleys of Utah, which there's a little bit of smog, to mention it. Happy birthday. We hope everybody has an absolutely wonderful, wonderful birthday. And let the party continue. Free pancakes at Denny's and IHOP, and who else does that? Anyone who serves pancakes probably gets them free. I bet you Holiday Inn Express would get you free pancakes this morning. I know that because I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express, and a lot of the people who came in for breakfast didn't look like they stayed there the night before. So free breakfast for everybody. All right. We're going to fade the music out. The party doesn't stop. Continue to celebrate amongst yourselves. Where I have been gone, I need to... I've got some messages and I don't know how to put them on screen. I wish I could do this. We have let me try another screen. This is terrible. I need to be able to get these on screen. Okay, let's use Chrome, YouTube, my channel. Live from the newish studio. Okay, pop out chat. I thought it was just pop out chat, but I must be running a plugin. There's a plugin I need, guys. That's what it is. There's a Chrome plugin. Okay. I'm on Reddit now. That's not working. Reddit's not the right place to go. Twitch chat. Okay, this guy. Does he have a link? Okay, he's using the right plugin, so let me find it. Subscribe. He's walking me through this. Live chat overlay. That's what I'm looking for. Looking for a live chat overlay on Chrome extensions. Chrome Web Store. Okay. We're getting there, guys. I thought this was just like built in, but nope. Live chat overlay. Which one is it? That's the one. Add to Chrome. Add extension. All right. So now, where's my chat? Now we pop out chat. And it is, yes. We're getting there. Oh, it's beautiful too. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so I need that on this screen. There we go. Okay, so I have it now on my screen here, if you guys can see. So we're getting there. Just 1 minute. Now I need to reprogram the upstream keyer to send it to the right place. It's going to be upstream keyer 4. Just pardon that. That's just so I can see what's happening. 4, and it's coming from channel 3. Hey, look at that. I fixed it live on air. This is just proof that I do know how to do all the things that I tell you I know how to do. All right, there we go. So we have a couple people we need to welcome. First of all, and thank. First of all, Debbie Creative Bee, thank you very much for 17 months of support. Happy to be a member of this channel. What other YouTuber takes us on vacation with his family? Krista gifted 5 memberships to kick off this morning. Thank you, Krista. Mary Tedeschi says thanks and love you, RA Family Mods chat. Thank you, Mary. 1 year. 12 months of support. Thank you, Mary. Diabetes says, there's no place like this channel. Thank you all for all you do, RA and mods. Remember, all we don't do as well. 9 months. Congratulations, Day. Christine Fortunato, welcome. 12 months of support. Thank you very much for that. Paula Mack, 15 months, says, welcome back. Are we going to watch Judge Boyd for sentencing? Yeah, sure. Facebook timed me out in our messenger chat. I've been lost the past 12 hours. You got timed out in Facebook? I'll take it up with Mark Zuckerberg personally. Rockies 743 says, good morning. 12 months, Rockies. 12 months. Thank you. Tammy Coleman says, proud to belong to the best channel on YouTube. I appreciate you, RA Mods, and love this community. Here's to many more amazing months and years to come. Tammy, thank you. I'm just glad to be back with everybody and that everything's working. Let's see. Britta Aller, member for 15 months. Says, great place to hang out with fantastic friends, mods. You guys do a fantastic job. Thanks, RA, for the great place to gather and watch true crime. Thank you, Britta. It's always fun. It wouldn't be the same without you here. Melissa Webb, nice digs. Have a blast today. I love this. This house is beautiful. With one exception, the yard is dead. I mean, like, zero scape dead. It's like they just let the yard die. And so we've got the hot tub out back, but you're overlooking barren wasteland, at least 30 feet one direction and 40 feet the other. That's it. Let's see. Diabetes and Alton Center birthday cake super sticker. Thank you very much, Di. Kim R says, how long will we be in Utah? Kim, a month. About a month we're going to be here. So this is our new home away from home. Then for about a week we're going to be up in Idaho. But during that time we'll also be coming to you live from a courthouse, hopefully. All right, Catherine Schmalzer says, thanks for helping me celebrate today. Addicts, thank you very much, Catherine. I think you were one of the ones we celebrated by singing your birthday. If that's the case, happy birthday. Either way, we're celebrating with you. And thank you for the super chat. Big Sky DMC, 17 months here for me, and hump day for the rest of us. Best channel on YouTube. Amber's laugh is infectious. Thank you. We love her. She does a great work for the channel, and she's fun to have around as well. Sienna's Baca, Greeners. I see how Greeners worked his name into everybody's YouTube channel the other day. I saw that happening. Thank you for working on vacation. We love you. It's not a vacation for me. It's a workcation. If there is such a thing. Lisa Pie says, best anniversary for me ever. On the road. 14 months, Lisa. Thank you very much. Bug Dugger comes into the super chat, says, how many times will RA reach the wrong way to flip a switch? Oh my goodness. You have no idea. I'm hovering my finger over the scroll wheel of a hyperdeck, which does nothing unless I'm playing back in slow motion. I don't know why. Normally everything's in the wrong place. Bug Dugger, everything is in the wrong spot. But at least I didn't realize I brought all the right cables, but with the different setup, I need different lengths of cables. And that just blew my mind. For some reason, I just thought that the right cable would just work and I could just set it up somewhere else. But no, I've got to. For those who are super curious how I'm actually making this work, it goes something like this. I only have access to Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi does not work with my ATEM switcher. It needs to be plugged in, hard plug. I have a Ethernet switch right here, but it doesn't serve up DHCP addresses. So you can't just plug something in and it's like, oh, that's you, I'll send the internet to you. It doesn't work like that. It just routes stuff. So what I did was I used the Mac Studio to connect to the Wi-Fi because it has a really good antenna and it gets a good speed. And then I shared the internet from the Wi-Fi coming in here to the Ethernet going out into the switch. Then I plugged everything into the switch. So now my switcher talks to my network switch, which then goes out over the Wi-Fi over here. And I also have 2 other computers over here that are doing work. And then we've got the soundboard behind my head right down here. I have not got this. I don't think this is working yet. Is it? Yeah, my buttons are not working yet because in doing all this, the network I'm on isolates things, so I can't see each other. I have to work my way through that. Thal, are you in Nebraska, Thal?
Yes, sir.
We drove through Nebraska for about 4 days this last week. It was.
Well, I apologize now. It's flat as shit.
Beep. It was quite. It was beautiful. I mean, this is farmland. The farmers doing the great work that feeds the rest of us, and it was absolutely beautiful. But there was not a lot of variety.
Yeah, no, there's not. It's not as bad as Kansas. Are you on the air?
Yeah. So are you.
Oh,
thanks
okay.
for watching.
I didn't realize that. Anyway, I'm going to the grocery store to get potatoes and sour cream. By the way, real quick tangent. Did you know sour cream has less tablespoon per calories than butter? I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Huh. Well, I ate sour cream on my bagel, so I guess that was a healthy choice.
Yeah, no, sour cream's 27 calories.
I had the cream cheese. I changed that. I didn't put sour cream on a bagel. That would be gross. Cream cheese.
Yeah, well, it's 27 per calories per tablespoon for sour cream. It's 100 for butter. So more you know. Anyway, the reason why I called this morning, I didn't think you were on the air, brother. I thought you were still.
I need to use
I was still thinking
sour cream instead of butter. Thank you for that.
My ignorant butt thought you were still on vacation.
I am. I'll be here for a month.
Oh wow. Okay, I see how it is.
Yep.
On the YSL trail, latest that I've heard, we might be looking at a Brady violation
on the part of the state, obviously.
Yep, might be an Alec Baldwin situation all over again.
Wow.
Yep.
I've told you a million times that one's not reaching the conclusion. For one reason or another, that trial is going to fall apart. I thought it would be because the jury just is like, look, Judge, it's been a year. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I have a life to live. I need to earn money. But yeah.
Well, it's difficult for jurors and even for the chat and for us to make heads or tails out of what really happened with one defendant, and we've got 9. And it's like pinning the tail on donkey on this one. It's kind of like, okay, this is insane. This is too much.
I agree.
This is just way too much.
Well, we'll keep our eye on that. I know there's rumblings also in the Karen Reed case. Possibly did the Commonwealth dropped, or are they going to drop charges 1 and 3?
They need to drop. They need to drop all the charges and let her go, because it's the whole thing's. I still stand by that. This whole thing needs to be let go because it's fuddled. And as a juror, if we're dependent on okay, so here's the thing: is one of the 3 things. Even if you believe it was manslaughter, there's still one of 3 stories that could have happened due to the investigation being botched. Okay, and it was botched. Period. There's no arguing that. You can have all the facts in the world and say all the experts, blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter, because some of the people involved were biased. Therefore, ended. It's over.
Yeah.
It's been tainted. There's nothing I can do. But it's one of the 3. If she did hit him, she hit him with the car and then drove off. Mm-hmm. She didn't hit him with the car and then drove off. Or the third one is maybe, and no one can prove that this didn't happen because the investigation, again, has been tainted. Maybe she backed up, hit him. Somebody inside the party saw it, took advantage of the moment, You know what I mean? And then walked off. And we will never know which one of those three it was. Never going to know.
I don't know. But we'll wait and see what happens on that one. It's crazy. All of them are crazy. And then we've got Judge Boyd sequestering her jury in what we thought was going to be an open and shut case.
Yep.
And they're still out. So, all right.
And Sarah Boone's going on now. Dear Lord.
I will say this. I knew you were in Nebraska, and I wasn't sure where you were located. And so we just held the horn down the entire time we drove through, just assuming you would get to hear us eventually. So if you heard like honking for a few minutes, that was us.
Okay. Well, other than bothering a few cows, I didn't hear anything. Because Nebraska is famous for one thing: cornfield, tree, cornfield, and just a tree, cornfield.
It was pretty. Honestly, I mean, my wife grew up in a farming community up in Idaho. I used to live up in an area that's quite rural. Now we live in an area that's rural in North Carolina. It was neat to see just so much land being worked and just so well. I mean, the crop is absolutely bumper crop. I mean, it's like amazing. I don't know what you guys do to it, but it looked great. So
yeah, no, the farmers around here always laugh when somebody says the farmers out in the Midwest don't know what they're doing, or maybe they should change tactics or something like that. I always laugh because if you ever work with a farmer, I don't care anywhere in the Midwest, it is down to a science that it is so dang complicated anymore. It is amazing to watch them go. And they can tell you every little facet of every little thing they're doing. They're experts. So it's like
not just that, they've got like their crop circle that's fed, that's watered, and then outside around the edges of the circle, they're growing hay. And they're using every square inch and just doing a great job. Anyway, we didn't come here to talk about farming. But sorry,
yeah.
So, thank you for the dietary update as well as a little bit about the YSL case. So appreciate that, Paul. We did get to court watching here in just a minute, so we'll.
I'll come back from the store and then I'll get on your channel.
All right,
we'll watching at that point.
We'll see you. All right,
see you,
bye. Ricky says, glad you made it there safe. Work has been boring. Thank you for what you do and don't do. I love that, Ricky. Thank you very much. Miss McGuire. So happy you brought us along with you. It's great to be here, and thank you for having me. 6 months, Miss McGuire. Thank you. Holly Mack comes in with a super chat. Enjoy your working vacation. I truly appreciate you. Thank you, Holly Mack. The trip was actually really fun. Hey, this might be a spam call. Oh no, it's not. It's coming on the burner.
Call from
Donnie and Spiegel.
Donnie, did I hear Donnie is on the phone? Hey. Donnie, what's up?
Yes. I'm with my friend Spiegel Shyster. We were just wondering if you're in a Mormon Airbnb, just because of the Utah thing over there.
I would not know. There's nothing. There's nothing on the walls to indicate. Although there's lots of inspirational quotes like "Live your dreams, show your compassion, create your happiness."
No crucifixes or little tiny Bibles in the dress. I was just check because I was in their Airbnb not too long ago in Utah, and it was wall to wall.
You had quite a bit of religious,
Mormons and everything else.
Religious.
Yeah, I am very religious. I just wanted to just make sure that everything was all right. I don't want you to.
Oh no, we are wonderful. We love it here.
They wrap you in. They knocked on my door some years ago. 2 of them in white T-shirts, and they came with an extra large Bible, and they tried to rope us in, but we just didn't fall for it. We couldn't do that. And they also said my girlfriend she has a big foot, and it was like a 9 slipper, and they told her that she can't cohabitate with anybody until she's married. So we were just worried about you.
Well, we do pickles, not politics and religion here. We support everybody, so I can't go too far into that. But I will tell you.
I just wanted to make sure you're all right out there, because it's very scarce, like lands and stuff, and mountains and sand and all kinds of lizards and stuff.
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Love it. Thank you.
And by the way, the office that you have in right now, it looks really nice. It looks a little bit. It looks better than the one that you use at home.
It is. This is a serious upgrade. I kid you not. This house is like the room I'm in right now is 2 of our rooms at home, and this is just the master bedroom.
Is it a queen or a king size bed?
It's like a California king. It's massive.
Yeah, I'm like 6'4", 275 pounds. I'm falling off my double. I have to get a bigger bed.
Oh man, Donnie, this place is absolutely amazing. And we back up to a park. We've got a gate out to the park with playground, soccer fields, volleyball, you name it. We can see the mountains, just not from my window, but it's beautiful. So.
All right, I was just worried about you. Like I said, me and my friend Spiegel Shyster, we were just thinking about you and just figured to call in.
Thanks, Donnie. Appreciate that.
All right, man.
We'll see you. Bye. All right. Welsh Lady Reed says, love this channel. I love my RA family chat. You mean very much to me. Never forget that. You make me feel like I'm at home. Welsh Lady, thank you very much. We love you and all the joy your accent brings to us as you read. Thank you very much. 8 months of support. Rick says, Recovery Addict, great to be here. God bless your family. Thank you very much, Rick. Appreciate that. Krista says, I do believe there was a verdict. Thank you, Krista. We'll have to look into that. And Braxton, hello, everyone. Braxton, hope your job's going great. Good to have you here. Let's see. Helena Handbasket says, ooh, Utah might get a new car today. Squirrel. ADHD in full chaos randomness today. 9 months. New car. Okay. Good luck with the new car. I will tell you, car shopping is one of my least favorite things to do. I would put it probably 6 or 7 notches below going to the dentist. I kid you not. I don't like car shopping. Although having a new car is great. Me having never had one, I say that. I speak as if if I ever had a new car, I think it would be great. I've never bought a new car, though. Rocky, 12 months already. Rocky Wallingford, thank you very much. Congratulations, 12 months. And Rose with Thorn says, yeah, I've made a month. You did. You've got a new Kohler Courthouse, too. It's a light blue Kohler Courthouse. It looks fabulous on you. And before you know it, that's going to be changing colors yet again. All right. I think I'm caught up on all the messages that came in, almost, except for DMB Secondus. How long before another SB letter after hearing the other day? One more cable to make the studio perfect. I've got maybe 30 cables I didn't use, but some of them I'll have to use for when we go up to Park City. Like when I go to Park City, I'm grabbing the Hyperdeck. I'm grabbing the Live View. I'll grab a couple SDIs. I won't need the SDI adapters, but laptop. We'll grab a few things and head up there. So, oh my goodness, burner phone is blowing up. So we had the Canton Select board last night. Good stuff. All right. Let's get back to regular chat here. See where we are. My head is a mess. I cannot figure out where time-wise what's happening. Let's see. The call was unintentionally hilarious to 10% of the chat. This is Adam. They did Canton board on Zoom. I heard they had a couple ringers they brought in to sing their praises. Oops, I just broke chat. Just like that. It was working and then I unfixed it. USK. Oh, that one doesn't work. Let's go over here. Now I have to fix it again. I fat fingered it. Okay. All right, there we go. Now we can turn it back on. This live stream is the best, says sample user. That shows us working. All right, where do we want to go for court today? Robin says, aren't you on vacation? As much as we love and miss you, why aren't you enjoying being away? Robin, this was the plan. This was always the plan. This is not the plan. This should be tighter. There we go. The plan was the only way we could go on vacation is if I continue working. I'm not to the independently wealthy part where I could go on vacation and not work and still expect the bills to get paid. So the plan was that we come with. My son is getting married next month, and we worked out the cost and the schedule and everything, and we were able to swing this with some help from a couple people who really wanted us to be here. We're here. So now we get to see a lot of family and hang out with friends and all that. But I'll be here working. I am going to be spending time with people and doing fun things in the evenings. I brought one metal detector, just one, because it's the only thing that would fit. So I'll probably might sneak out and try to hit that park if they allow it. Let's see why. I don't need that. Where's this one coming from? Okay. I saw a police chase. I'm not sure if you guys want to watch a police chase or if you want to go straight to court, which I feel like I don't know what's going on at all. How will you know how the electrical pole at home is doing? Stephen, right before we left, they replaced the electrical pole. It's done. It's fixed. But I have no idea if my house is flooding because we're getting pounded with rain back there. Like I get boat notices like not lightning struck 0.3 miles from your house. Lightning struck 0.1 miles from your house. Heavy rain notified is located in your area. And I'm getting these on my phone. I'm like, well, it's not here. So, they had a verdict yesterday with Boyd. However, we're waiting on jury with sentencing. Okay, that makes sense. Boyd verdict. Let's see if we can find Boyd's verdict. Just 1 second here. Let's come in on this one. Judge Stephanie Boyd. So the jury's still deliberating on the sentence. Okay, so we'll watch for Judge Boyd. Let me just make sure it's working. We're going to bring a little audio in just from her really quickly. That's going to be over. I can't bring it on this one, on their own computer. Let's bring it in on this one. Oh, wait. Or this one. It's a squeaky chair like the one at home. It feels right at home. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Guys, we have a special guest on the phone.
Call from
JB.
JB in Canada. Oh, my goodness. Here we go.
Press 2.
JB, my friend. It has been ages. How are you doing?
Hi, Recovery Addict and everyone. How are you?
We are doing fabulous. We were worried about you. We hadn't heard from you in quite a while. We worried that the snow was too deep and you were buried somewhere under a snowdrift somewhere.
I almost was.
Oh, no.
I'm not bad, but I've been gone since the girl trial.
Since Maya?
Maya, yeah.
Oh, man, we've missed you.
Yeah. Yes, I've missed you too. Oh my God, how is everyone?
Well, we're doing great. I'm in Utah right now on vacation. I will be here for a year.
I caught you on your trip.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I caught your trip things. Yeah. Wow, I'm still a member.
We love it.
Yes, I would never give that up. But how is everyone?
Well, we've got a lot of people who are like JB in chat. So
yeah,
we're doing great. We're doing just really.
How's all our OGs and new peeps? Tell them I said hello.
Well, you're talking to him right now, so tell him yourself.
Am I?
You're live on the air.
Oh, okay. Yes. I see that right now. You are all so nice. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Yeah, I've missed you all.
Well, that is wonderful to hear your voice again.
Thank you. It's not that well today. But I see it's going to be maybe a slow day.
Well, we're trying to get to Judge Boyd up on the screen. That's our goal.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's a tough slosh what I just I've been going through.
I'm sorry about that, man. That's no fun.
No, it's but wow, look at all them wishes. That makes me feel good.
Hopefully that cheers you up and gets you back to full health here.
Yeah.
Are the fires up in your area? Are you? What's going on?
No. But that's yeah, we've got just terrible weather though, and rain, hot. Today it's freezing up here.
Oh man.
And I know it's killing me. But yeah, I just thought, wow, you're on your holidays. That was excellent.
I love it. I love doing this.
Yes.
I love building the studio. I love taking things on the road and doing things a little differently. That's what I've always loved. So this, to me, this is a vacation, getting to play with my equipment in a new area with a new setup. And, you know, I get to experiment and make little changes and see what I like better. So I'm loving it. It's just great.
Recovery Addict, God, I'm so happy for you and your family and the channel and all the good people. Look at all these, wow, yes, thank you so much, people. You are the best. I remember when we started, there's 22 of us.
Yeah, it was quite small then. But we've got a few more now. But they're all friends. They're all good people.
Yes, I see that. Wow, and all our people from the start, eh?
Yeah,
is Debbie still here?
Yeah, I was chatting with Debbie on the phone the other day.
Oh, good. How's 80s music, man?
It's still not a member. But
what's that?
His account won't let him have membership. But we got him a hoodie. I sent him a Recovery Addict hoodie. So that was our consolation prize, as he couldn't become a member. But yeah, 80s is still here.
I've looked at a few other places. I've never been on the internet until your show, and wow, your show's the best because you would not believe the language.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff out there.
The internet is crazy, Recovery Addict.
I will say
I never knew it existed.
I'm glad you opened your mind to all these amazing options. There are some great people out there as well. We've got some great people here, even in the true crime community or in the LawTube community, that just incredibly smart, incredibly generous, incredibly thoughtful. Just fun to listen to. There's a lot out there, so I'm surrounded by really good people.
Good. That's the main thing. How's Weather Watch?
Weather Watch and I, we do our podcast every Thursday night, so that's going to be tomorrow night. He's doing great, and he's actually in chat. He's in chat right now. That's him. Seeing this chat absolutely rocks.
Wow.
Yep. So he's
wow. Wow. Yep. And how's our chaps? Weather Watch right on.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Everyone,
that's good. I just heard there was.
Sorry, go ahead.
Have you heard from Matthew? How's he doing?
Matthew Harris, busy with law, but he does pop in quite often, so he's doing great.
Yes.
He's doing great.
Okay.
His law firm, I think, is exploding. He's doing really well on the internet himself, on his YouTube channel. He's puts out a fun video every single week, an informative video. Just doing really, really well. So we're super excited for him. Plus, he taught me everything I know about law. So, you know,
very good, very good. Okay, I won't keep you long.
Well, JB,
tell everyone I miss them and I hope to be back, okay?
Wonderful. We're thinking of you, prayers for you and your health, and hope to hear from you again soon.
Okay, Recovery Addict.
We'll see you,
be good, okay?
You too. We'll see you.
And hi to all the family, okay?
I'll say that. Thank you.
Okay, right. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Wow, JB on the phone was that's amazing. We've worried about him. He's obviously his health's not doing the best right now. So thank you for your thoughts and prayers for him on that behalf. JB, one of the OGs in chat, who his story is amazing. When he tells you that he didn't understand what was out on the internet, he didn't. He had no idea. And his first little basically foray into YouTube, he found our channel. And I'm not sure, he basically thought that we were all that YouTube had. And he fell in love with the channel and the people, and just a great guy. It took a long time for him to be able to chat. Sometimes the chat doesn't work on his device the way he watches. But anyway, let's see. The setup This is it. It's there's a million cables everywhere, but this is the corner of the master bedroom. I think I showed you guys a minute ago. Let's see. I can actually control the camera from right over there. See if I can bring it a little closer so I don't have to lean around. Okay, so here's my setup right there. There's my big screen so I can monitor everything. It is an unusual setup. This is the hallway. Might open the doors at some point. That's our walk-in closet right in there. That's really cool. There's the bathroom isn't through there. Oh, somebody's out exercising in the park. Is that a little better? Okay. I'm trying to see if I can see the mountains up here. I forgot what I did the other day to get the iris to work properly. Oh, there we go. Found it. Okay, so the mountains are off there in the distance. We'll keep that view. That's the view out the window. A little bit of smog in the air, but it's livable. Are the walls a lilac color? There is a little purple hue, like a little bit of a purple tint to it. Be hilarious if the local power company showed up and began working on a pole. No. That would not be funny. I think you saw grass. That's in the park. It's in the park. Definitely should have had a content warning there. Anyway, I'm in shorts. That counts. I did not move. For those that are curious, the new studio we're in right now, I brought my entire studio. That way, in case my house gets robbed at home, people who go in will find out that there's only one computer there, and it's pretty old and junky. I brought everything with me. Literally, I brought almost every single item of our studio with us, and so we're on the road. We're here because my son's getting married next month, and we wanted to go on vacation with the kids and let them see a bunch of museums and locations and things that we didn't have access to on the East Coast. And yeah, it's beautiful. Content warning for RA's ankles. Wait till I flex my calves. I'm just saying. Well, we might get one of those streams. All right. So we're on vacation, and this is the Airbnb that Mrs. RA found. I think we're in Layton, Utah, and it's beautiful. It was 100 degrees yesterday. Stepped out of the car in 100-degree weather. I'm like, oh, this feels so good. Because there's no humidity. It's like 0% humidity. It's like I can deal with heat, because if there's 0% humidity and you get hot, your body naturally starts to sweat, and immediately it starts like an evaporative cooler, and you can get cool. When you're in high humidity and it's hot, like it's 90 degrees outside and 95% humidity, your body gets hot and starts to sweat, and you just get wet, and that's it. So I'm loving it. Judge Boyd is live. Let me see if we can jump over to her channel. Actually, I'm on her channel already. I'll just have to jump to her live stream. There we go. Let's pop up right here. She's on 8.
They were the Mavericks.
Okay.
And you had Brett, Bo. I think Bo. You had Beauregard. Actually,
okay, that's cute.
Roger Moore.
Okay.
He played in it. I want to say he played as a cousin, or he may have been a brother. But you had all of these brothers.
Sure. In this westerny, old school TV land.
And their father, they just called him Pappy.
Okay.
And he would instill in his sons these sayings, right?
Okay.
And so Brett and his brother, they didn't have a regular job. They would just play poker.
Okay.
And they would say, as my old pappy would say, we don't gamble, we play poker.
That's good. Yeah.
Poker is not gambling.
Sure.
But oh my gosh, they had some great westerns. I wasn't a big fan of Bat Masterson though, or Wyatt Earp.
Okay.
Job's done.
Wyatt Earp, that's like the good cop or the small town, good old. Yeah.
And then Cheyenne.
Cheyenne. Okay. No Wyatt Earp. I don't know Cheyenne. Okay.
I wasn't a big fan of Wagon Train.
I'm looking for the hearing right now.
Judge, I still have to watch, by the way, that 4-hour.
Which video
was it? Once Upon a Time in the.
Oh, Once Upon a Time in the West.
It's on the. I'm telling you, it's still on the list. I saw it again this weekend.
Let me just tell you,
My list,
the top westerns, at least 2 of all time. Once Upon a Time in the West, and I know people like the one that Clint Eastwood
Good,
did.
Bad, Ugly, Fistful of Dollars.
Well, those are great westerns.
Yeah,
but they're not top of the list.
Okay.
Top of the list, Once Upon a Time in the West.
On the list.
And Tombstone. I would give Tombstone its due.
I really feel like I've seen Tombstone, Judge.
Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer.
I see if I need to Google
Hey,
this.
Jennifer,
is one of the
I see
best
the time
Doc
is 1:43.
Hollidays. The other
Is
best
it just
Doc
her
Holliday
last live stream?
was the Doc Holliday who starred in the series on Star Trek, the original Star Trek.
Judge,
But,
Tombstone was 93.
Oh, you have to watch Tombstone.
Was Unforgiven 92?
It was I think it was before Tombstone. And see, I know people think Unforgiven is a great Western, but for some reason, I could not get through that.
Okay, I've seen Unforgiven 92. I have not seen Tombstone.
Oh my gosh, we need to get rid of you. You shouldn't be in this court. If you said that, Judge, what? But Sean, have you seen Tombstone with Val Kilmer?
You talking to Ray? Sean, have you seen it?
I don't know.
Oh,
all right. That means she hasn't.
I really like Val Kilmer, and I've seen a lot of his stuff.
Let me just tell you. I was introduced to Val Kilmer when he was playing as an intelligence student and they were scientists or whatever. Val Kilmer deserved an Oscar for Tombstone.
It's on the list. Now,
I don't know if he received it, but he deserved it.
Now, see, Vashon also hasn't seen it. So, and Vashon told me, she said, if Judge kicks you out, I'm going with you. So if you kick me out, Judge, we're
you to see that in writing.
Well,
Raymond, have you seen Tombstone?
I have not, no.
Oh my gosh.
I'm curious, was he the lead actor or like the supporting actor? He should get an Oscar for.
Well, you know what? Actually, I think there was more than one lead. You would consider it more than one lead actor because you even had Kurt Russell in it.
Okay.
I mean, that was just a great movie from beginning to end.
Okay, I'll take that. It's on the Once Upon a Time is still number 1 on my list.
So you have to. Like, and somebody, the other Western that people think is great that I'm like, High Noon. I'm like, yeah, no.
It's okay. I have seen High Noon.
I think The Man Who Shot Liberty Vance.
Yeah.
Is it Liberty Vance? I think. All right.
I thought it was Valance.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Liberty Valance. I didn't feel that.
Who's Vance? Oh, that's a Legend of Bagger Vance.
Yeah,
that's a golf movie. Yeah, not exactly a Western.
But the Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. The only reason why I think people love that, and here's me giving away a spoiler, because John Wayne is in it, and John Wayne plays a bad guy.
Okay, we're gonna jump just a little bit. We're jumping right.
And the
here.
person who shot.
This was yesterday's live stream at 1:43. Is that the right time? Was there a verdict here? Waiting for. This is the trial. This is the right trial. This is what is it? Carlos. I forget the last name. But why do we have a witness on the stand? Why do we have an officer there? Yesterday morning, 1:39, I see them sitting at the table, says Paula Mack. Waiting for audio. I was driving during this. I missed this. Thal, I'm glad you got sour cream. We're trying to catch the verdict. 137 was the verdict. Okay, hang on. So I need to back up a tiny bit. We've got, this can't be verdicts. We have other people here. Here we go. Why do we not have audio on too? Audio. I'm showing no audio on her channel. Okay, this is weird because I'm struggling. Morning stream 137. Isn't this the morning stream? Oh, that was the afternoon stream. There we go. There we go. Job's done.
Call from
Denise.
Hey, Denise, how are you doing?
Good. Verdict for Judge Boyd was Monday before lunch.
Okay, so I thought it was 137.
Yesterday was the sentencing phase. So that's why what you were seeing was the witness sitting on the stand. That was part of the sentencing phase.
Okay.
But she's really efficient because in between this case, she was doing all of her other docket
all her regular
stuff.
docket work. She's amazing that way. So I've got a spot where they're all sitting about 1:43 yesterday morning where they're about to stand up for the jury coming in.
Okay.
I think that might be it, Denise. But I'm not getting any audio yet. Not seeing any audio on the channel.
Oh, it may have been yesterday more. Was it? I thought it was Monday. No, they went out on Monday. They didn't come back with a verdict. So it was yesterday morning that they came back because she sequestered them, and we were all surprised.
Okay. All right. Let me see what I can find. Let me see what I can find. I think I've got it, but I'm just not getting audio, so I need to shuffle things around. All right. We'll see you. Thanks, Denise. Bye.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Okay, so let me try to bring it in on different device. Let's go on camera 8 because it might just be. Realize we're still working with our broken switcher and our audio is doing bad stuff. So let's go, Judge Boyd. One more complaint: the monitor I'm sitting really close to is a 720p. It's terrible, absolutely terrible.
So as she...
Okay, so I do have some audio on this channel. Judge Boyd's meeting, 1:43. Is this the right one? Oh, it says 1:37. 1:37 is right here. And it's muted.
Publish, Judge?
Granite.
Well, that's publish.
What exactly do these points show?
So they're GPS tracked points, and they show basically a...
Okay, I'm struggling. Which is the stream for this morning? or the morning it was on. Amber, help me out here. Let's see. $15 hours ago, 4 days ago, 6 days ago. Oh, 21 hours. I'm on the wrong one entirely. 1 day ago at 1:43. Let's see if this is it. Nope, that's a guy.
Deal with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find.
That's a guy in purple. That's not it.
It's just 2 pages.
Okay, I think I got it now. I think we got it. It's going to be on camera 8. Right? This looks right.
The jurors up, and we will bring the juror. State of Texas versus Alexander Castro. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar, Jason Gary with the state.
Defense.
Jasmine Boone and Jason Goss for Mr. Castro.
And are you Mr. Castro?
I
All right, the court has been informed by the deputy that a verdict has been reached. She's going to line the jurors up, and we will bring the jury in.
A little anticlimactic, but we got there. We got there. I don't even know the facts of the case anymore. It's been that long.
All right, so the court realizes that in cases of these, and probably any criminal cases, emotions can run high. There's not to be any outbursts. There are not to be any exclamations. If they are, then you may be excused from the courtroom. And if your testimony is needed, you may not be allowed to testify. Does everyone understand? Thank you.
All right, so I can't even remember what the case is about. I mean, it's my brain is that fuddled. No outbursts. Car accident, high rate of speed. Defendant in Levi's in a sport coat, I think. Claims that the responsibility was not on his shoulders, but no, it was on the woman who was driving the wrong way up ahead that caused a crash. That crash caused a traffic jam. It's the traffic jam's fault. Not just that, it's the police fault. It's the police fault because they should have done more to let everyone know that there was a traffic jam. Guess what? Everybody else stopped except for him. Everyone except for him. And he's saying that it wasn't me. Well, it was him. It was him. Unfortunately, he drove at about 90 miles an hour into the back of some stopped cars. And one young woman who was traveling home happened to be the first vehicle he hit, and her car was demolished. It was hit so hard it launched his truck high in the air, rolled side over side, rolled many times. But the testimony we heard, there was no evidence that he ever even hit the brakes. So we're gonna just wait here for just a moment as we're waiting for the jury to come in. I might skip ahead just a tiny bit. As we're waiting for the jury to assemble. Here we go.
Yes.
All right, for the jury.
All right, everyone, please be seated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the court's understanding that you've reached a verdict in this case. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is that verdict unanimous?
Yes.
All right, if you'll hand the verdict form to Deputy Laura, please. All right, if defendant, please rise. All right, with regards to the charge of manslaughter, it says we find the defendant not guilty. With regards to the charge of criminally negligent homicide, says we find the defendant guilty. With regards to the use or exhibited use of a deadly weapon, it says we so find that a deadly weapon was used or exhibited, namely a motor vehicle. Does
Whoa.
anyone wish to have the jurors polled?
Motor vehicle deadly weapon aggravator.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm have you wait in the
And they didn't pull the jury.
jury room, and then we'll call you back in a moment.
All rise for jury.
Can somebody get me the timestamp? How many hours ago the video was, and the timestamp of the defense attorney going on vacation? I want to see Judge Boyd come unglued, because that's a huge no-no.
All
That
right,
was a
everyone,
fast
please
verdict.
be seated.
So now they go to the
And State, do you
sentencing
have
phase, and we're going to warp to current time.
investigators paid up front? Like the investigator says, hey, it's going to cost me $2,500 to do this.
We're
And then
back
the
in.
client will just give the investigator a check or a credit card for
This is live
$2,500.
in her
Okay, go do the
courtroom
work.
right now.
So, but when they're appointed, they have to do the work prior.
Would have been on
And then
Monday.
I review it. And if it's all in place, then it's done. Hello.
Hey, Judge.
Hi.
Mind if we briefly approach?
Sure.
His client's not here yet. They would be in the box otherwise, but this was just a quick reset from yesterday, Your Honor.
Is that
Cáceres.
Cáceres? Yes.
Cáceres.
All right. Oh, he's yes.
Yes, Your Honor. So otherwise he'd be in the box. I just wanted to let council know the main issue was an element of discovery that council now has in their
Oh,
possession.
he's here. They'll bring him out.
Okay. Okay, we can wait for him.
Yes.
Done.
Just Spanish speaker, Judge. So good.
All right. So they'll bring him out, and then we'll have a Spanish speaker come.
Okay.
You need an interpreter, Judge?
Yes, but their client is in custody, so they're gonna bring him out.
And this will just be to get a setting, Your Honor.
Yes.
So I'm gonna call them right now to come, so the time they come, hopefully you'll be out.
All right. Thank you. And that's the other thing.
We're going to go
If
back and
there
watch
is
the part about
A
the.
defendant who wishes to speak to the court in a language other than English, they need to be provided with an interpreter. And
2 days ago.
even if the attorney is hired, we will still provide an interpreter. And sometimes it's hard to find an interpreter because we have a limited number of interpreters. And anything that's not a European language, they call those exotic languages, right? So it's hard to find an interpreter for that. If your client speaks Spanish, French, Italian, normally all the interpreters that we have upstairs in the building, they all at least speak all three of those languages. But then you may have somebody who speaks some of the African languages. We have to get on the phone.
Got to call Weather Watch.
You know, that phone call goes to through different systems to interpreters all over. And we can find an interpreter that way.
I think I might have
Sometimes
the video of
people
the
speak,
defense
I think we had
lawyer
somebody who was speaking Mandarin.
not showing up.
People upstairs normally don't speak Mandarin. So you have to find someone to do that.
Okay, let's watch really quickly. This, I think, was Monday morning. Let's see what's happening here. I think this is when our British lawyer just didn't show and sent a friend. And by friend, I mean coworker. Waiting for audio.
Are you ready?
Give me 1 minute, please.
Oh, she's mad. She's mad already. She just glanced at the table and saw that first chair was occupied by what was second chair. Oh man, I
Miss you. Oh, hi. Come on up. Hi. Hi. Nice meeting you. Sure.
No, you're good. It was kind of funny.
Yes. But hey, so what are you planning on doing? Are you just shadowing to see? Okay. Awesome.
Thank you, Paula Mack.
Yeah.
Elvin Summer Moon, welcome to the gallery. Month 2 there. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, and then you're always welcome to
On
come
the
here
H.
anytime.
Thank you.
And we
Love the new
should
studio.
have a jury selection tomorrow. Yes.
Braxton will miss meeting you up there.
Oh, we do it. Jury selection in the afternoon. And then on Wednesday, we'll have all day trial.
Thank you,
No.
ACDCS.
My mom
Appreciate the
always
gifted membership.
says, where you work, you should make sure that it's as beautiful as it can be, because other than home, the most time you spend is at work.
You're here.
So
I just happen to have both be the same.
yeah. Oh yeah, put some flowers up, and they're so inexpensive. Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Especially when people send them to you, Judge. They're cheaper that way.
I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, just have a seat wherever, and then you can introduce her to Vashon, the probation officer. Yeah. And if you do, you want to go to the back to see the back?
I think I'm done. I've said everything.
The back.
For what I could say. I'd be limited.
All right. Deputy Mejia, do you have time to show her?
She gets a tour of the whole area. Judge Boytett has a soft spot in her heart for young, up-and-coming lawyers. She takes time out of her day to really.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 11862, State of Texas versus Alexander Castro. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar and Jason Garahan for the state of Texas.
For the defense?
Jasmine Olguin, Your Honor, and I would like for Mr. Jason Goss to be able to join the trial. We're requesting that with the court. Mr. Hillier is not present, as previously made aware of the court. He had to go out of the country.
All right, so he left to go on vacation, and so that the record can be clear, this was the date that parties chose. With regards to Mr. Goss sitting there, he hasn't been qualified for the jury. State, do you have any objections to him sitting?
Yes, Your Honor, the state objects to Mr. Goss sitting.
Your Honor, may I respond to that? I am his counsel of record. I have been entered as his counsel of record, and the state's right to not have me sit there does not supersede his constitutional right to have counsel and effective assistance of counsel, including counsel of his choice. Also,
are you not here in the beginning during jury selection if you are his counsel of record?
Your Honor, I, along with Jay Norton, Nico LaHood, Patrick Ballantyne, Jasmine Olguin, and Gary Hillier are all his counsels of record who have entered a notice of
My
appearance.
question is, why were you not present during jury selection? This is the first time that you have been a part of this jury trial. So my question is, why were you not present during jury selection? Why have you not been present during the state's case in chief? Why are you just now making an appearance?
Yes, Your Honor. So I had other matters that I had to attend to. This was Mr. Hillier's case along with Ms. Olguin. The state represented to the court that it would be a 3 or 4 day trial. Mr. Hillier repeatedly tried to tell the court that it would not. Mr. Hillier repeatedly asked for continuances based upon this vacation. Mr. Hillier put in a vacation letter and told the court that if it went longer than last week, then it would run into his vacation. And
a vacation letter does not a motion for continuance make. And this was the date that was chosen by the parties. This case had been reset before because counsel said he had a CLE to attend. So the court gave him time to attend his CLE, and this is the date that both parties chose.
And the court
And he's in the middle of a trial. And then we go back to the question is, if you're going to be his attorney, why were you not here during any parts of this trial? This is the first time that you've appeared to sit. And if Mr. Hilliard knew he was not going to be here, why did he not have you qualified before the jury? It would have been a simple matter of his asking the jury, we're going to have Jason Goss who may come sit with us. Does anybody know Jason Goss?
Mr. Hilliard believed based upon when the court set this case, if the court remembers, the court set it for last Monday. The court decided not to go to trial last Monday.
Because he said that he had a CLE to attend where he was seeking to obtain his board certification.
No, Your Honor, the week before. That was the week before. Last Monday was when this trial started. The court told the parties that they would start on Monday and be here Monday. The court decided not to start until Tuesday. Had the court started on Monday, Mr. Hilliard would have been here today. I mean, the case would have been over on Friday.
Mr. Hilliard had a choice to make. He chose to go on his vacation.
Your Honor, the reason that there are vacation letters is because the courts have recognized that it is not a choice when somebody has a family, when they have non-refundable tickets, when they have plans that have been made for over a year's time. In addition to, he is not in a position where he could join them late because they are on a ship in the middle of the ocean. So he is not in a position that he could leave his family.
So you're telling me that cruises do not dock in different places?
They perhaps dock in different places, but he could not make half of the vacation with his family and was not willing to have his family go along without him. And that is why there are vacation letters. So the defense is asking for a continuance to allow Mr. Hilliard back.
Oh, that's going to be denied.
I understand. And additionally,
and have you filed a motion for continuance?
Defense is asking for a continuance from the court at this time based upon these circumstances.
So you have not filed a motion for continuance, is that correct?
We will file a motion for continuance.
No, my question is, have you filed a motion for continuance?
The motion for continuance was filed before and it was denied.
Have you filed a motion for continuance? We're in the middle of a trial. Have you filed a motion for continuance now?
We have not. We will.
That will be denied.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So the issue is whether or not, state, do you object to this counsel being present?
Yes, Your Honor, the state objects.
And based, as I argued before, they do not have the right to have a question about whether somebody on the jury might recognize me or look at me and know who I am. That right does not supersede my client's right to counsel of his choice and to effective representation of counsel.
Well, the counsel he chose was obviously Mr. Hilliard because he was here. Ms. O'Gean was here. So those are the two counsels he chose from your firm. And we're back to the point. Why did you not appear for any stage of this trial before now?
Because the court and the state represented that the case would be done last week, and it was not. So based upon those representations made by the state, 3 or 4 days, which is on video and on the record, and the court, who believed that it would be done last week, I had other settings that I had to go and appear at. And so
other settings that were jury trials?
Other settings that were potential jury trials that didn't turn out to be jury trials.
So not jury trials.
No, not jury trials, Your Honor. However, in this situation, the state objecting in this situation to me sitting and assisting Ms. O'Gean is that right is so low on the totem pole compared to his right to allow me to sit here and assist Ms. O'Gean.
So hypothetically, let's say somebody from the state's office were to come down to sit there and they haven't been qualified before the jury.
Right.
And you say, oh, that's fine. And then we discover, oh, their mom is on the jury.
Right.
That would be fine with you.
Well, I know my mother's not on the jury.
No, that's I'm giving you a hypothetical.
The state does not have a constitutional right to counsel.
I'm giving you a hypothetical.
The state does not have a Sixth Amendment right to counsel.
So let me ask you this. So let's assume your mom is on this jury. Do you think that you should still be allowed to sit? Let's assume one of your best friends is on the jury. Do you think that would be a fair trial for the state for you to sit?
I think
yes or no?
I think that their issue with that would not outweigh his Sixth Amendment right. It's a constitutional right versus the state's disagreement or some possibility that does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
So So no, my mother and my best friend are not on this jury.
Well, you wouldn't know that.
Well, so I would definitely know if my mother was,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and she's not, because I know where she is and she's not serving on this jury. As far as the other balance, it's just a balance of rights. I mean, I am here. I am willing to assist Ms. Olguin. It is important for my client's rights and his Sixth Amendment right to allow me to do that.
All right. Are the jurors present? All right. Let's line them up.
Whoa. Okay, this poor attorney. Realize this is not a problem of his making. It's the British attorney who went on vacation that the judge is mad at. But she's taken it out on him because he's the one who's here in his place. And this poor guy just got whipped every possible way he could. And the judge is still livid. Surprise, here's your mom. Yeah, this is... And to his credit, he's still fighting. He's still swinging. The judge had to corner him, ask the question 3 or 4 times before he had, even answer the question about whether he'd filed a motion. Whoa. Oh, my goodness. Let's see what happens here. I don't know if he was allowed in or not. I don't remember. He went on vacation. Yeah. Why didn't he connect from the poolside? I mean, I'd love to see him, Hawaiian shirt, flip-flops by the pool with a tall drink. This was spicy. I had to figure out what the IP address is of my switcher, and I don't know how to do that. Bon voyage. You should have zoomed in. Don't the judges have... no, sorry, not the judges. Don't cruise ships have like Starlink? Can't you pay good money so you can get a Zoom connection? We did have a witness zoom in on the Maya trial from a cruise. But that was a witness, a little different. This was before the verdict. Micah, we're just going back and seeing the spice that happened before the verdict. We're expecting a sentencing verdict because the jury's deliberating on that right now. Anthony B., I was really hoping someone on the jury knows him to prove the judge's point. Oh, my goodness, that would be hilarious. It's like, Mom, what are you doing here? So she lined the jury up. I'm not sure if she goes out. Look at how defense is still standing. Because he hasn't been granted permission to sit. I think that's why he's standing right now. Can you imagine the next time that British lawyer comes in and gets assigned a case that's in front of Judge Boyd? That is going to be epic. He doesn't have a courthouse, so he can't sit. You're right, Ashley. He does not. He's still probably too sore to sit. Judge, if it's all right, if I could just stand for the remainder of the day, that would be good with me. I don't like it looks like I'm staring off the screen, but this is...
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to fix that.
I have a few questions to ask of you. Mr. Hilliard is not present. As you can see, he's not present in the courtroom. The person who is now at this table is an attorney by the name of Jason Goss. Please stand. You may be seated. Does anyone recognize or know the attorney Jason Goss?
She's praying they see hands.
If you do, please raise your hand. All right, so that the record is clear, no one has raised their hand. State, do you have any questions with regards to that matter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, with that being done, can I have attorney's approach?
She mutes the mic. State's like, after you, Mr. Goss. Wow. Wow, that was spicy. That was spicy. Okay, so that's what happened on Monday. Okay, I'm fixing... You know what I'm going to do? Let's see. I'm going to show you how I'm setting this up. Let's see.
All right, state where we left off. We were still in your case in chief. Call your next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, state rests.
All right, defense, do you have any witnesses?
Your Honor, we do. We'd like to be heard outside the presence of the jury on a motion.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if you'll just step in the hallway for 2 minutes and then we'll bring you back in.
That was then. We're going to go to right here right now. This might look a little confusing. This is my screen on the wall. I used to have this picture over there. I'm actually going to put it down. This is why I love, and I know that a switcher, this ATEM switcher is crazy expensive, but this is why I love it. I'm going to switch to right down here. So this is going to be our program out, and up here we're going to have 4 boxes, and it's going to be, let's see, what was it? 6. Do you want 6? No, we don't need 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Camera 7. Yes. Camera 8. We're going to do audio status, and streaming status. So now I've got my I can see where things are, and that way when I'm watching what's actually going out to what you guys see, it's down here in this bottom corner. Would that work? Oh, I've already got audio status over there. What cameras don't I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. I need camera 5 right here. Don't need that one. Maybe 8. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't need 6, 7, 8. There's our streaming status. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to do. We're all set up. Now, where are we going to go for court today? Is the bigger question. Do we want to go live with Judge Boyd, who is in on 2?
Okay.
Let me see if this is her. Is she live here? Yeah, this is live.
That was my conversation.
Okay. So.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm making you dizzy. I just wanted you to see what I had to deal with. That way, when I'm watching court, it looks like this. So it looks better than if I was looking up like that.
Some people that I watch, where a guy goes around and speaks to people on the street in Japan, and they were saying, no, you don't learn Japanese by being in school. They said you have to watch anime. They're like, if you watch anime, you'll learn it. And I'm just like, how do you just do it? But they say if you watch anime, you'll see the way they form their mouth to say the words, and then, but I love it. Because of anime. See, I guess I need to start watching anime and just listen.
We could go back and watch the Sarah Boone hearing from Friday, because I missed some of that. Are you guys cool if we go back and rewatch some of that? It was about an hour and 45 minutes long. Okay. Let's see if we can bring that up.
Yeah, that is so awesome. I always tell them.
All right. We have, nope, the 3 is the wrong one. She's on 8. Oh, the audio is only in one ear. We need to fix that. There we go. Not sure why I'm getting the bars on the side here. I'm going to watch this. Do you want to watch a little faster speed? Can we go a tiny bit faster? She did say, do you have a pen? She got a pen from somebody. Come on, camera. That is so not cool. Zoom in on her notepad. Okay, we're on 1.25 speed. Let's skip ahead just a tiny bit.
Yes, state your full name and date of birth.
Truth, the whole truth. Ms. Boone, raise your right hand to be sworn, please. Please clearly affirm that the testimony you should give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes.
Ma'am, good morning. Can you please state your full name and date of birth for the record for me? I do see that we have a representative from JACS that's appearing virtually. Sir, can I get you appearance for the record as well?
Yes, Your Honor. Christian Lake with the Justice Administrative Commission.
Okay, very good. All right, we've got a couple of things that we're going to be addressing this morning. The first is the motions, Ms. Boone, that you had made reference the last time I saw you. The court has reviewed all of those motions. I've reviewed also JACS's reply, specifically their response to the motion seeking due process costs that was filed on July 30, 2024. State, have you had the opportunity to review all of Ms. Boone's motions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Ma'am, I want to go through each one of them and hear from the state, from yourself, and from JACS. We're going to start first with the, y'all can be seated, you don't need to stand, thank you. The defendant's temporary motion for reservation of proposed costs to acquire investigator for defendant's defense and trial dated July 18, 2024, received July 29th. That request seeks to reserve any and all costs proposed to be incurred to acquire investigator. The defendant's temporary motion for reservation of proposed costs to acquire all witnesses for defendant's defense in trial dated July 18, 24, received July 29th, 2024. The request is to reserve any and all costs proposed to be incurred to acquire all witnesses for trial. And then defendant's temporary motion for depositions to be conducted per FRCP Rule 3.220 by defendant under pro se attorney title and position ordered by the judge in court dated July 18, 2024, and received July 29, 2024. I have reviewed all of those motions. All three motions reflect to be determined or TBD with regard to the investigator, witnesses, and deponents. The total amounts are to be determined. How to calculate is unknown. As for the depositions, the date are to be determined, and the amount of transcripts are unknown. Mr. Lake, I've reviewed your response. Do you have anything else to add, sir, with regard to those items, investigators, witnesses, or deponents?
Not really, Your Honor. The only thing is we can provide Ms. Boone a copy of our pro se packet that has information about, including model motions. We would be happy to send her a copy or to send your JA a copy that you could send to give to her. That might help her for purposes of future motions. But as far as these are concerned, I think our response pretty much outlines what our position was to each of those requests.
Okay, thank you, sir. If you would be so kind to send that to Ms. Barrios, we will ensure that Ms. Boone gets a copy of it. State, do you have any position with regard to those three motions that the court just identified?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, ma'am. So previously, Prison Break Investigations was already appointed to be your investigator. The JAC has no objection to authorizing $5,000 in costs for Prison Break and for $500 for obtaining case-related documents and materials on your behalf. So seeing as there's no objection, even though you were asking for a reservation, I'm going to go ahead and permit that cost to be incurred. With regard to the costs for witnesses and the depositions, you are requesting, as I identified earlier, just to reserve those costs. And as I had said earlier, the motions do not identify who the witnesses are or what the deponents are. So I'm going to deny those motions with prejudice, but that means you can refile them and we can readdress them when you file motions in the future addressing any of those items.
Deny with prejudice, but she can
witnesses,
refile?
Being subpoenaed or appearing for your defense at trial, or for any persons that you may seek to depose. Because as of right now, I don't know who it is that you're seeking to depose based on your own motions. Do you understand the court's ruling as to those three motions, and do you have any questions, or do you want to add anything?
I would like to add, please.
Sure.
With your delegated due date of July 22nd, for all of my pretrial motions to be submitted, I have yet to receive my discovery, so I was trying to beat that deadline or at least meet it. So I don't know what I'm supposed to ask for, who I'm supposed to ask for, and again, I have yet to receive my discovery, so I don't even know who it is I need. So I understand for those, so you're telling me at a later date once I have that information to revise them.
I'm giving you the opportunity to refile them. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
With regard to the defendant's motion for reservation of proposed costs to With regard to defendant's motion for reservation of proposed costs to acquire expert witnesses for the defendant's defense in trial dated July 18, 2024 and received July 29, 2024, Mr. Lake, anything else to add other than what is identified in your response?
No, Your Honor. Again, the issue here is, with the exception of the mental health expert that's already been approved, there would need to be much more specific motions for these costs. Ms. Boone needs to include essentially what we included in our response. And again, the model motions that we will be sending to will have that information. Without specific information, neither us nor the court can make an informed decision on whether the requests are appropriate.
Okay. Ma'am, the motion fails to identify any specifics. It has to be determined for your expert witness or witnesses. It does not identify the type of the witnesses. It doesn't identify the amounts. And it's difficult for me to identify the particular showing of need, which is what's required for the appointment of that expert. So again, I'm going to give you the opportunity to refile in the future a motion pertaining to any specific experts, identifying the specificity that JACS has requested in their response. So at this point in time, that motion is denied without prejudice, and you'll have the opportunity to refile it. Lastly is the defendant's motion requesting immediate relief to the defendant by appointing effective standby counsel to aid in support and preparation of a criminal case for trial dated July 18, 2024 and received July 29, 2024. The request, ma'am, that you were seeking in that motion is to provide immediate relief to defendant by appointing effective standby counsel to aid in support and preparation of her criminal case for trial. State, do you have any position with regard to Ms. Boone's request for standby counsel?
No, Your Honor, other than what's already been placed on record in the court's order.
Okay. Mr. Lake, anything over and above what's in your response?
Just briefly, Your Honor, the point we would make, Your Honor, is I think Ms. Boone misunderstands the role of standby counsel. Standby counsel is not co-counsel or assistant counsel to a defendant. Standby counsel is there for when, in the situation where a pro se defendant who is elected to represent herself decide at some point they want a lawyer, that allows the court to put a lawyer back into play at that point in time. In other words, it's a safety mechanism so that if a defendant who is asserted to represent themselves decides at some point they no longer want to represent themselves, the court has a lawyer already in place so that the progress is not delayed. It is not an assistant or a co-counsel. It is someone whose role is essentially not to get involved until the defendant says, I no longer want to represent myself.
Ma'am, the court's had the opportunity to review the case law on this issue. There is no constitutional right to standby counsel as decided by Paul v. State 152 Southern 3rd 635 at pinpoint 641 by the Florida 4th District Court of Appeal in 2014, citing to the Florida Supreme Court case in Jones v. State 449 Southern 2nd 253 at pinpoint 258 from 1984. As the court has determined that you have forfeited and alternatively waived by your conduct the right to court-appointed counsel, the court is not required to appoint standby counsel. And that's Brown v. State 45 Southern 3rd 110 at pinpoint 114 through 115. Florida 1st DCA 2010, citing to, again, Jones v. State by the Florida Supreme Court in 1984. There is no Sixth Amendment right to simultaneously proceeding pro se and with legal representation by the Florida Supreme Court in 2009 in Shepherd v. State, 17 Southern 3rd, 275 and 279. For the reasons that the court identified in its 16-page order previously entered, your request for standby counsel is denied. Do you have any other questions, ma'am, as to the court's rulings this morning?
First off, I did not forfeit my rights. That was your judgment. And also, I feel that I should have had some type of evidentiary hearing prior to your decision, so I could have better explained myself and you could have had a better understanding. So by you denying my standby counsel, which thank you to him for explaining to me what specifically it is, I don't want to be pro se any longer, so I didn't want to be pro se in the first place. And again, you, in my opinion, unlawfully denied me or didn't even suggest an evidentiary hearing in order for me to avoid or try to go about a solution or remedy to even understand. So I don't know if it's me either wasting your time or anybody else's time, if it's even an opportunity, or if it's just something that is denied, period.
It is denied, period. With regard to an evidentiary hearing, that seems to be in the realm of a Ferretta inquiry where a criminal defendant is seeking to represent themselves. And I would inquire of that person and have an evidentiary hearing as to the rights and remedies that you were forfeiting and the pros and cons of proceeding representing yourself and the benefits of being represented by counsel. Due to the Florida case law that was provided in the 16-page order, no such evidentiary hearing is required.
My understanding was the hearing, the Ferretta hearing, is in regards to competency as opposed to having understanding before you take someone's rights away.
Ferretta pertains to a criminal defendants seeking to represent themselves. Ferretta was not applicable to your situation, and that's identified in the case law citations that were provided in the 16-page order.
Yes, I understand. It was the day of that I was explaining most of all of this, and as opposed to prior, so I would know what happened or could happen. So my understanding is one thing, and then the explanation is another. So I'm just confused and feel that I should have had an opportunity prior to all of this to explain myself and to have a better understanding. So now my belief was that the Ferretta hearing was simply competency. So the evidentiary hearing I thought would be a collaboration of the information of why I wrote my letters in order for you to remove my rights counsel. In my opinion, I felt that it was a type of retaliation by the court because you did not understand or attempt to understand any of my letters that I wrote previously, which was for the intervention of the judge and or the court to avoid any of this with me sitting in front of you presently.
Ma'am, as identified in my 16-page order, I listened to every audio hearing. I specifically provided dates and times and words that were specifically said at particular hearings involving yourself and prior counsel. I also made reference in the 16-page order to statements that were made in your letters. I promised you, I've read everything in the court file. I've read every single letter, and I've listened to every single audio. That decision was not made lightly, and it took a lot of time to make that determination and that decision, which explains why it was also a 16-page order. That order stands, it remains. The court's not going to revise its findings or its determination as to your forfeiture, and alternatively a waiver by virtue of the conduct identified in that order.
Okay, I believe, in my opinion, the order is erroneous, and after I reviewed your 16-page order, there are quite a few incorrect entries, and some of them are based on perjury by the attorneys. And by you reading and then also listening to the audio, you did not listen to me in any way, shape, or form in order for me to explain myself better so you have an exact understanding of the particulars of each letter for each attorney.
Okay, I'm going to pause here just for a minute. This is crazy. Her comments to the judge, and this is Friday's hearing, the last hearing for Sarah Boone. Her comments to the judge is like, "Hey, first of all, I never gave up. I never wanted to be pro se. I've always said I don't want to be pro se. I didn't give up my rights." And the judge is like, "Yeah." She says, "That's something you decided, but I did not want that. You never listened to me. I should have had a hearing where that happened." That was a pretty good argument, actually, to say I should have had a hearing regarding that. She has some understanding about the competency hearings that go into pro se, and just she's actually somewhat impressive. I don't know how else to say that. She's somewhat impressive when it comes to how she's arguing this. I'm going to see if I can run to the other. I can't move myself wanted to be down the bottom right hand corner for this one, but it is what it is. We'll run with it.
I'm not going to revisit my prior decision.
I understand. I'm just trying to make you aware that is my opinion.
You, and like we talked about last time, ma'am, you're certainly entitled to that opinion.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
You're entitled to
My
that.
judicial assistant has been in contact with the representative from the Orange County Jail, Sergeant Donald Casey, who is on his way in order to facilitate the transfer of the USB drives from Prison Break Investigations. I do see that Mr. Lane is present. So as soon as he gets here, we'll be able to address that exchange. What we can do while we're waiting for that representative to appear is address some of the things that were identified in the notice of hearing for today, which is kind of a scheduling conference for when we might be setting up certain deadlines. As of right now, the trial is scheduled for October 7th. The trial will be extended from 2 weeks to 3 weeks. So the trial will take place on October 7th, October 14th, and the third week of October 21st.
Okay.
October 21st.
Stop. That's huge. Do you know why he did that? He knows what a circus this is going to be. From 2 weeks to 3 weeks, if there was a lawyer, if there was an experienced lawyer who was running this case, the process would step through fast. It would be normal. He's granting literally an entire week additional calendar time for this court just for the exchanges he's going to have back and forth and that Sarah Boone is going to have in court. He recognized that. It's like, look, I can already read the writing on the wall here. This was going to be a long one. It's going to be 3 weeks.
Is not this division's normal trial week. However, the court has obtained coverage for that week so that should this trial proceed into a third week, we will not have to scramble in order to find coverage, and that we'll be able to efficiently proceed with any evidence or testimony on that third week on October 21. Pre-trial was scheduled for September 24th at 1:30. The court typically has its regular trial case managements on that Tuesday. Due to Ms. Boone representing herself and some of the complex issues that may be involved in this case, I'm inclined to change the date of the pretrial so that we might be able to have our own pretrial separate and apart from all the other cases that may be set for that same trial period. My thought would be to move it to, rather than the Tuesday the 24th, to Tuesday the 26th at 9 a.m.
Is that Thursday?
Yes, sir. That's Thursday.
Okay, I was listening to him, but I completely missed the dates. What was the change in the date?
That's acceptable to the state.
Ms. Boone, that would give you additional opportunity to prepare for trial as well. Are you amenable to changing that date to September 26th at 9 a.m.?
So an additional 2 days?
Correct. You would still have that time to prepare regardless if we had the hearing on September 24 or September 26. I'm just moving it so that we don't have 50 or 60 other cases and I can focus more attention on your case specifically.
Of course.
Okay, all right. So pretrial will be rescheduled till September 26th at 9 a.m. One of the issues that I wanted to address was deadlines for production of the state's exhibits and the defendant's exhibits. Now, I'm mindful, Ms. Boone, that you have not reviewed some of the documents that may have been provided. I know most recently, Ms. Cashman spent 20 hours with you alone going over questionings and reviewing some of the materials. I don't know the breadth and scope of what was reviewed to you, but some of it may have been reviewed to you based on counsel's representations. State, I want to address with you first, because Ms. Boone hasn't reviewed the discovery yet, as to what your position is with regard to assembling or finalizing an exhibit list or your exhibits for trial.
As far as providing a list of the specific items that the state seeks entry of?
Correct. I do want it before pretrial. So let me just kind of lay the map for what the court's thinking. The court would have the state provide a exhibit list and a witness list by X date. Ms. Boone would have the opportunity to look at that list. We would then have a hearing where all of the exhibits would be shown to and provided to Ms. Boone. They would be provided on a USB thumb drive that could be utilized with a laptop at the jail. And then she could view all those exhibits here in open court. And then she would be afforded the opportunity to make objections in writing to any exhibits at a later time by a certain date.
I guess one of the concerns would be that if the state identified specific items that we would seek entry of, depending on the course of the trial and the questioning, there may be other items that have already been disclosed in discovery that may necessitate being entered in, would potentially not be part of this original witness exhibit list. Items that were in the discovery, but if that makes sense.
That does make sense. And I understand what you're saying. And that seems to be more of a fluid situation as to what may happen at trial, right?
Sure. I don't imagine the court's intent would be for the state to just produce the exact witness lists that have already been sent in discovery and just make a notation of every item of evidence. The idea would be to try to pare down.
That's exactly the idea. Now, obviously, that wouldn't foreclose you if something was produced in discovery and something that would not be relevant or admissible at a certain stage of the trial.
Is he wearing a trench coat?
Became relevant or admissible due to something that happened or something that was said. I would not foreclose the state, nor would I foreclose Ms. Boone from attempting to move that piece of evidence into evidence for the jury to consider. But it would be
prosecutor's wearing a trench coat. Oh, it was raining.
Conference where you and opposing counsel would go over what your exhibits are prior to proceeding to trial. And I think that's important to do that so that Ms. Boone has the opportunity to view those in court, so that's on the record as to what she's reviewed, and then give her the opportunity to provide any objections, if any, to any of those exhibits. And again, I wouldn't foreclose you if you want to use items A, B, and C, and that's all you intend on using. I don't know what you intend on using. I don't know what evidence you have. If you only want to use and only show A, B, and C, but are saving D, E, and F for later, depending on what happens, I won't foreclose you from readdressing D, E, and F. But it's just an opportunity to address what it is you think you're going to be seeking into evidence at this time.
So essentially,
that's it.
So I think we could accommodate that if we could go around September the 1st for that, and then that would give her an opportunity to review that USB and lodge any objections, and then we could potentially address those objections and go from there.
Okay, and that would be September 1 to have the evidence viewing, for lack of a better word, or for the list to be provided?
For the list and the USB.
Yeah, we're going to make this work for an October 7th trial date, Rich. I think September 1st is probably about the right time frame to have this in-court hearing to begin lodging those objections if she has any. My next question is, are you expecting the physical evidence to be brought here into court by a CSI so that she can potentially open it? Or are we just talking about digital evidence and giving her a list of the physical items?
If there's physical evidence that's sought, I want her to have the opportunity to review it.
Then we should be looking at the top of the month for September so that we can get this done.
Okay, all right. Ma'am, do you understand that what it is that I'm discussing right now so that you have the opportunity to review the evidence that the state may be seeking into evidence in your trial?
Is it my understanding that they will supply me with a USB drive?
Is it my understanding?
And then I am to review it while in court?
No, ma'am. So it's kind of a two-step process. So anything that's digital, that's not forensics or CSI or something that's tangible, will be provided to you on a USB drive. We also will have a hearing where all of the evidence, including any digital, electronic evidence, or any tangible evidence, CSI materials, will be shown to you in court, played to you in court, so you have the opportunity to review it here as well. Anything else will also be given to you on a thumb drive for you to review at your leisure based on the hours of 8 to 4 by the laptop at the Orange County Jail. And then we will have a deadline after we have this evidence viewing for you to identify in writing any objections that you have to any of the evidence that's been provided by the state.
So it's not a matter of any type of confidentiality that is all done in the courtroom with everyone?
It would be in the courtroom, correct?
Are there going to be news cameras and photographers?
That's something I need to address. I do not want, because our jury pool is going to be coming from Orange County, I have concerns about the media's presence in the evidentiary viewing. So I may have to enter an order which would prohibit media access for the purposes of that hearing due to the nature of what is being produced and reviewed, so as to further prevent intimate details of the case being released prior to trying the case.
I understand that, Judge. Ms. Boone, not to turn the page completely, but I think it's pertinent to this discussion, has indicated through some counsel that had met with her recently that she wants to talk to the state out of the jail, and I was going to discuss that at the end, but perhaps to not waste the court's time, I don't know about bringing physical evidence out to the jail, but as far as the digital evidence, which will include autopsy photographs, which will include crime scene photographs, which will include videos, perhaps a different suggestion, especially since she has an investigator from Prison Break, is that we identify those files that we intend on introducing at trial so that they can review that digital evidence on their own in the jail, and we're not publishing all the digital evidence here in open court. that should allow her the opportunity to lodge any potential objections such as duplicative or any other objections she may want to raise about autopsy photos, so on and so forth, without exposing all of the digital media to the public. As far as the physical evidence, the state doesn't have any real concerns about the media covering that. She can open those.
What was your question, Linda? I didn't see it.
It's for her if there are any exhibits she wishes open in the witness box where it's concealed from the media's eyes. So those are my suggestions, and then later we can turn to her request and put on the record how we would go about going out to the jail and meeting her.
The only concern that I have with that is I don't have a record as to what it is that she reviewed.
We're not seeing your question, Linda.
My suggestion would be that because this is in the context of plea negotiations potentially, I would be out there, Mr. Cacciatore would be out there, and our investigator would be out there, and we would record it. The conversation we have, of course, and that would all be protected because it would be in the spirit of plea negotiations under the evidence code. And then we can all file in writing, the state can file in writing, these are the videos that we are going to use. These are the particular photograph numbers from the crime scene and from the autopsy photographs that we're going to use. And then we can have the defendant sign off on that as well, so that it's documented as to what was told that she would be facing at trial. And either she can review it with her investigator or she can review it with us, being present, and then that way the digital evidence is now in the open.
Okay. Ms. Boone, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm a little lost. So it's an option of reviewing what the state has with my investigator and then be able to come with the objections and everything?
That is correct.
I'm unclear on having all of my evidence being in sealed bags and for me to be able to inspect them to be here in the courtroom. I don't know how the attorneys have done any of this prior, but I don't believe that it was in the courtroom. So I'm just trying to protect myself against the media. I'm not sure at this point what is even suppressible that is available on the internet. But at the same time, though, it is my understanding that I should have some right to privacy in reviewing the evidence. So I didn't know if my investigator and I are able to collaborate prior and view and then come to court with any finalized and ready to vote answers.
I'm certainly going to give you an opportunity to meet with your investigator to address it. The question is just the method of how to do it. The state's proposal is digital. They would meet with you, identify specifically digitally what videos, what photographs they intend on utilizing, and anything that may be physical, CSI, etc., would be addressed here in open court.
And just so the court and the defendant understands how physical evidence viewing would operate normally, the defense attorney and or her or his investigator would come out either to the sheriff's office or OPD's evidence center, whichever agency, and they come and view it. But it's done in the presence of the state, it's done in presence of law enforcement, it's done in presence of the CSI for the chain of custody. So attorneys don't get privacy when they're reviewing the physical evidence either. So that wouldn't really be any different than if she's doing it in the witness stand or wherever you deem suitable in the courtroom.
I think that's the most appropriate way to have the opportunity, ma'am, to review the evidence. I can't release that evidence to Mr. Lane to bring to the jail for your review because of the chain of custody issues concerning some of the physical evidence. So CSI would have to be here just like an evidence viewing at the sheriff's office or elsewhere where counsel just identified. And I cannot bring you anywhere else other than here, and I can't release you to anywhere else. So I think the only solution that we have is to have the evidence viewing here with regard to any of the physical evidence.
Why is it that I cannot be transported anywhere other than here?
Because I cannot make a record anywhere else of what you saw or what was reviewed. The only opportunity for me to make that record is here in court.
What did prior attorneys do?
That was already identified by the state.
I know I'm trying to keep up with everything. What was the answer, please?
So an attorney who's doing an evidence view would come out to the law enforcement agency's evidence warehouse, for lack of a better term, and then in the presence of the state attorney, the CSI, and the lead detective, they look at the package, and if they deem any particular package worthy of opening and examining, they can do that. We can have the CSI bring butcher paper here.
Linda, I
so
can't
that
see
any
the
particular
question.
item can be
If you
opened,
can type
put
it
on
one more
fresh
time.
butcher paper,
Watch
and
it
then
for you.
changed out between exhibits so that there's no contamination. And then you can examine it. If Mr. Lane or any other representative from his organization is here, he will have the opportunity to photograph those exhibits once taken out of the packages. And that's essentially how an evidence viewing is conducted.
I think the question's being filtered out. Make sure it doesn't have any names in it, like calling someone a name.
That's a conversation that I need to see if I can exclude them from participation or viewing that proceeding. There are rights where the media has to view proceedings in court, but due to the sensitive nature of what may be being discussed or viewed, I need to see if I can prevent media access. So without doing a little bit more further dive or research in that, I don't know if I can make that call at this time.
Yes, I have not heard of a case where the evidentiary hearing has been televised. So if you could please look into that, because I disagree with the media being involved in that.
I understand your position, and again, for the reasons that I stated earlier, I'm trying to prohibit as much as I can from the dissemination to the public, especially some of the exhibits that the state may be seeking to utilize. We are going to go ahead and set the evidentiary. The first is Sunday. September the 1st is a Sunday, and that is Labor Day. The court would be setting a hearing for Tuesday, the 3rd at 9 a.m. to have the physical examination here in court.
Linda, I apologize.
At that time,
I apologize. We are watching this a little faster. I've got the chat, the closed caption on the screen for that reason. We're at 1.25 speed, and the judge says talk fast. Linda, your question was getting filtered out. We have automatic filters, and some of the filters we have are to prevent spoilers in cases where somebody's watched ahead or we're a little bit behind. So the word guilty was still on the list. I've taken that word back out of the filter. So your message, nobody was seeing the message. We were not ignoring you. If you do feel like you're getting ignored for some reason, you might have a word in there. Usually it's names, like if you call somebody a stupid liar, whatever, something like that's going to get filtered out. But if you're the more respectful terms that really say the same thing, can be allowed through. But we had guilty on the list, and I've removed that. So now your question's coming through. So if you want to type it again, it might work.
USB drive or the after our viewing here in court, State, is it your position to then have that meeting with Ms. Boone and her investigator and your investigator under the plea negotiations or settlement discussions auspices to review all of the digital and identify what it is specifically?
We are happy to defer to the defendant's wishes on that, and I wanted to have that discussion. It seems like we're turning to that discussion. So I'll leave it in Ms. Boone's court. My indication from one of the attorneys that she had discussed things with said that she wanted to have a conversation with us, and so I'm offering that up. In the past, with female defendants at the Orange County Jail, there are classrooms, or at least one classroom there, where we could arrange to meet. It would be a big enough room for 4 or 5 of us that would need to be there, and then we can discuss that, whatever it is she wants to discuss. And it would be recorded. And again, those portions of the conversation that are about plea negotiations and the evidence and whatnot in the trial, I believe under the evidence code would not be admissible to be used against her. And I can leave it to her when she wants that to happen. We can make arrangements to try and accommodate that. It should not take us very long at this point, given the age of this case, to select and identify which digital evidence exhibits we're going to use. It's simply a matter of getting rid of duplicative and irrelevant photographs from the scene and the autopsy.
Yes, I'm guilty.
We
watched the verdict this morning. Yes, I'm guilty.
I know that there's a whole lot of other digital evidence.
Okay. All right, ma'am, do you have a thought on when you would like this viewing to take place at one of the classrooms at the Orange County Jail under the concept as identified by the state?
So this meeting is separate. This is prior before everything else.
What I would envision, to not waste anybody's time, is we can go out there and have this discussion, if there is a discussion to be had about plea offers. One of the other topics was other matters, so that's kind of ambiguous. I'm not sure what other matters are. And then also we can let her know and probably provide the court in writing a list of the digital evidence that we seek to introduce. And then that way, if she wants us to review those digital evidence items together with her in the presence of everybody, we can do that. Or we can let her, with the list of the digital evidence that we plan on introducing, review that as many times as she wants by herself and or with Mr. Lane.
I don't think they're offering a plea.
So will I be leaving with the digital evidence today, or how soon may I receive that?
So the state needs to assemble that. So my thought would be to have that meeting, ma'am, on the 3rd of September. So we would have a hearing at 9 o'clock in the morning where the physical evidence would be reviewed here in the courtroom. As soon as that evidence was finalized and reviewed, the state with their investigator, yourself with your investigator, would then meet that afternoon at the Orange County Jail to address, as the state has identified or spoken about, any settlement negotiations, plea offers, and under the other category to address what the digital exhibits are. They would provide you those on a USB drive.
Okay, so hang on just a second. This whole talk about the plea deal, there's a meeting they're going to have where a plea deal could be offered. I don't think that means there definitely will be a plea deal offered, because normally the state offers a plea deal when they've sort of charged a little higher than they might be able to prove. And they may offer a deal and say, okay, as long as you plead guilty, that'll save us the cost and expense and the uncertainty of whether or not we're going to get a conviction. Look at this case. Look at the facts, just the ones that we know regarding the case. They have a ton of evidence that is that just says guilty all over it. They've got Sarah Boone's phone with her voice recording a video of the event. I'm not sure what better evidence the state could possibly want or dream up. That the only thing that's, it's not her, in the picture, but she's identified herself in the interrogation. She says, "Yeah, that's me." They have everything they need. Why would they offer a plea deal at this point other than to just spare the court the circus? I don't think they'll do it. I would say if there is any plea deal on the table with Sarah Boone, my recommendation as her non-lawyer would be to take it.
And they would identify for them specifically what it is that they are seeking for you to review at that point in time and have the ability to review it afterwards.
We're happy to do that beforehand, and I just want clarification. By providing her the USB with all the narrowed down exhibits out of discovery, are we providing it to Mr. Lane? How are we physically?
It would have to be provided to Mr. Lane, who would then have to provide it to a member of the staff at the jail, the names of which I have from the captain at the jail as to what persons are involved in the laptop process. And then once that's done, I would require Mr. Lane to identify with a filing in the court, probably in the form of an affidavit, as to when, where, and how the USB drive was received by him, and when, where, how, and to whom it was delivered.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I feel uncomfortable when you supply my evidence to the jail. So I don't know if there's a way
She needs her discovery. That is so bad.
My jail phone calls have been released, and there's a lot of things that have been released from the jail. So I don't know. I do not feel protected by you all handing it to the jail. I know that Mr. Lane and I previously have worked on the laptop with USB drives that he has furnished himself from bringing in from the outside. So I didn't know, and I would feel more comfortable if there was a process or a procedure. I don't know who your names are from the jail. I do know the captain, whom I spoke to the other day regarding my laptop. But I would very much...
Who was that, ma'am?
I'm sorry?
Who was that?
For which?
The captain that you spoke to. Who was it?
D. Giovanni.
Okay.
There's multiple sergeants involved, and I did meet the gentleman who was supposed to be here today to pick up the USB drives. So I don't feel comfortable, please, with providing the USB drive of my evidence with things that have been leaked or released from the jail. So if there's a possibility, please, I would like for my investigator to have that and bring it with me prior.
If I understand the jail's protocol, which I read to you at our last hearing, the jail will keep custody of the USB drives and release them with the laptop as well. So I don't know how I can bypass that process that they've created, because the USB drives in the laptop, when it's checked out by you and when it's returned by you, is all going to be logged in their IMS system.
Right.
Welcome, lawyer's daughter. Good to have you as a member.
Laptop where anyone affiliated with my case has any type of digital evidence they bring in with them from the outside. It's simply a basic laptop that we are able to utilize at the Orange County Corrections Department. That's how we have done that prior. So I don't know what it is different, and I don't know the jail protocol because no one's included me.
You were provided a copy of it through the court filing, and I read it to you at the last hearing.
Your understanding is different than my understanding because my contacts with the jail are telling me something different.
Who? What are their names?
There's multiple sergeants.
What are their names?
I'd rather not get them involved with fear of harassment or anything from other...
Ma'am, I'm deferring to what the Orange County Jail and the captain that you identified specifically as to her memorandum to the court, which was read to you at our last hearing, which was sent a copy to you by a notice of service. It was provided by U.S. mail. It was sent out last week.
I didn't get to receive anything such as...
Don't worry, I have a copy to give to you this morning, just in case you have not received it.
Yes, the last thing I have is your order that you provided me with the implementation of your USB drive.
Okay.
Option. All right. So anything that you were speaking of in the meantime, I do not know, and it was served by process?
It was served by U.S. mail.
By U.S. mail? Mm-hmm. Yes. I actually have 3 motions, please, if I may submit them to you.
In a moment.
Yes, in the process of, because the address address that you are, I'm guessing, sending these to is incorrect.
I received your letter addressing the address issue. That's been remedied. So the appropriate legal mail address will be utilized. It was simply a clerical error, and that has been remedied. But regardless, I did read to you at our last hearing the protocol for the USB drive in the jail. The court is inclined to follow the Orange County Jail's protocol with regard to the USB drives. So the evidence, digital evidence that the state seeks to admit at trial will be put on a USB drive, delivered to Mr. Lane. That will be delivered to a representative from the Orange County Jail. And Mr. Lane will thereafter file a filing with the court in the form of an affidavit identifying when he received it from the state and who he gave it to, when he gave it to, and what representative of the jail he gave it to.
So it goes from the state to Mr. Lane to the jail.
For the purposes of indexing it, for the purposes of their records under the protocol, and then it'll be available for your use.
So if I want to see all of my evidence digitally, I need to contact someone at the jail.
No, ma'am. The evidence that were in the two bankers box that Mr. Lane digitized for you is going to be provided to the jail. That's going to be provided with the laptop to you. And that's available to you from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day in the protocol that I read to you at our last hearing.
Yes, and I will speak to the captain just to be aware that everyone that it is in the process, because I do not feel comfortable with any of this, and I do not feel protected either by the courts or the jail system. So for right now, I don't know if it can be postponed or if it's something that I need to write another letter to. Everything takes longer in jail. So by me trying to get a hold of the captain nonetheless, it's going to be a feat in itself. So I want you to know if anything that I am in the process of trying to reach out to the captain. I don't know if she'll be here today or if it'll be the contact person. So in the process, I am working on speaking to the captain because I do not feel, like I said, that I am protected in any way, shape, or form by the Orange County Corrections Service withholding my evidence in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. The court's going to follow the procedure as I outlined at the last hearing. So here's what we will do. We will, on Thursday, September the 3rd at 9 a.m., we'll have a hearing to review the physical evidence. At that time, the state will provide its exhibit list, which will be filed with the court at that time, and a copy will be given to Ms. Boone of the physical and the digital evidence they are seeking to admit. After we have the in-court examination of the physical evidence, that afternoon, there will be a meeting at the Orange County Jail between the state, its investigator, Mr. Lane, Ms. Boone, to review the digital evidence and provide a USB drive with that information.
And can caveat in that order be unless it hasn't already been done? In case we do it ahead of September.
Sure. If you want to do it before, the deadline to do it will be to September 3. But the in-court physical examination will be to September 3. So if you all want to meet in advance of that, I won't prohibit that. Just file something in the court file identifying a notice or some document so that it identifies when that meeting took place, when the evidence viewing took place. Okay, thank you very much. Ma'am, after we've had this hearing on September 3, and that being the deadline for the digital evidence and the viewing of the physical evidence, the court would then like to set a deadline for when you would provide your objections to the state's exhibits. Mindful that this will take place on September 3 and that we have pretrial set for September 26th, and if we need to have a hearing with regard to those objections, my thoughts would be to give you 2 weeks until the 17th to lodge your objections. And those would need to be provided in writing by the 17th. So that if there are objections and if we need to have a hearing on them, that hearing can be held when we have our pretrial on the 26th. That would give the state ample opportunity to prepare for any of the objections that you have.
Forgive me, and thank you for your patience, everyone. So on September 3rd, I will be viewing the digital and physical evidence here in the courtroom.
Correct.
And then later that afternoon, I will be meeting with the state and my investigator.
If they don't meet with you prior to that date. The deadline for the state's investigator, your investigator and yourself, to meet to review the digital evidence would be no later than the close of business on September 3. I've outlined for when I would like it done, but if the state wants to meet you in advance of that date, they can do so.
Yes, please. If I may ask, please, what is your name, sir?
William J.
Could you spell your last name, please?
J-A-Y. Don't get asked.
It's
And what is your affiliation with the state?
How do you spell that?
I'm the homicide unit chief.
Yes, please. And I am okay if you would like to meet prior, so less time is consumed on the day of our meeting, supposedly on the 3rd.
So I assume you have availability. Should I meet with Mr. Lane to discuss his availability so we can get out there this month?
I assume you have availability.
You can do that. And like I said, Mr. K, if you could follow that notice, just identifying when, that would be most appreciative. So, ma'am, understanding where we are
I'm
with
just
the viewing,
guessing you're going to be in jail.
is September 17th for the deadline for your objections acceptable to you?
Yes, and if I may please raise the point that I have a motion here in regards to the line of process working on it for the laptop. I do not have my discovery as of yet, and I do not have a laptop as of yet. I do not know what hiccups may be involved. There's a lot of hiccups with the jail already. So I'm trying to figure out when and where I'll be able to view anything. So there's a great restriction also that is being put on the laptop usage from 8 to 4. I'm unable to utilize my time to the full extent. Also, I have a motion here to receive my hard copy evidence because when the laptops are in quotes, the laptop is in quotes, closed for the day at 4 p.m., I can therefore pick up using the hard copy evidence.
I haven't had the opportunity to review the motions that you're speaking of, neither has the state. We'll address them today. I don't have a problem doing that. I'm just not going to do it right this second because I haven't had the opportunity to review them yet.
Yes, and I'm just explaining myself in the meantime, please, so you are aware of what I have already thought of and trying to ease the pain of everyone with me trying to figure out how to do everything and when and do it appropriately. But I just wanted you to know that by bringing that topic up, I have that to also be looked over.
Okay.
Please. 9/17, if that has to be changed, am I okay to do that?
I'm trying to set deadlines now, ma'am. And that give you 2 weeks to review the physical evidence. You'll be provided the digital evidence, it seems, in advance of that September 3rd deadline. And that may give you more than 2 weeks to review and lodge any objections.
This is just for the evidence?
Correct. This is only addressing any objections to the evidence that the state seeks to admit.
The digital discovery, is any of that included in that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm very weary to make these type of deadline.
Well, we're setting them today.
I understand. So the 3rd is a what day? Thursday?
Tuesday. So the 17th would be 2 weeks later, Tuesday the 17th.
And that is me coming with my objection.
That would be you filing your objections in writing with the court. And to the extent we would need to have a hearing on those objections, we would have them when the pretrial or trial case management conference is set at 9 a.m. the following Thursday, the 26th of September.
I'm sorry, what is on the 26th?
That's when we're having our pretrial or trial case management to address any last minute issues regarding trial.
Forgive me. So today being August 5th, I'm supposed to expeditiously complete my case that in every way, shape, and form by September 26th in order to go to trial for October 7th.
The dates are what the dates are. September 26th is the trial case management date, and October 7th is the trial date.
So by me not even seeing my discovery yet 2 days, and only being restricted to a laptop from 8 to 4 and not having my hard copy evidence.
You have 62 days to prepare for trial, not including today. And you're going to get your discovery today.
Wow.
Wow. So
She said wow, too.
It comes down to me representing myself in 62 days.
I'm not going to answer that question.
Am I supposed?
What now we're addressing, ma'am, is September 17th.
Right.
The deadline, which is 2 weeks after having the physical view of any of the physical evidence. It sounds like Mr. J is going to try to meet with you pretty promptly regarding the digital evidence. So you'll have plenty of time to review that in 2 weeks at a minimum, or 2 weeks at most rather, to lodge any objections to the physical evidence.
I understand. I just don't understand how to file objections.
I cannot answer that for you. That would be me providing you legal advice, which I'm prohibited from doing. All I can tell you is that if you have objections to any of the exhibits that the state may seek to move into evidence, you will have to lodge those objections by the close of business on September 17th. And those objections will have to be in writing. If we have to have a hearing on those objections, that hearing will be held on September 26th.
Okay. And if I may ask, are these being delegated or I'm being incorporated in this in order for me to be able to say yea or nay?
I don't know what that means. What do you mean delegated?
Are you delegating to me as you delegated everything else in regards to taking my counsel and all of your orders?
You are representing yourself for the reasons that the court identified in its 16-page order. It is your responsibility, as you are representing yourself and proceeding pro se, to comply with the court's orders and deadlines. So if you have objections to any of the exhibits that the state may be seeking to offer into evidence, be it digital or physical, based on your review of those, the deadline to submit those in writing would be on September 17th.
Okay, so you're making statements, so I don't have any say in it.
I'm asking, I've asked you what your thoughts would be.
He's
as
getting
to
frustrated.
when. You've never provided me in a disagreement with regard to that date as of yet. You've asked questions about your motions that I haven't seen yet. Your desire to have hard copies, which we addressed at the last hearing, but I'll be glad to address it again today. You have yet to tell me that that date's unacceptable for you, and if so, why?
I wouldn't necessarily say unacceptable. I'm just uncomfortable with agreeing to a date when I am pro se and have never been pro se before and do not know what I'm doing. So I just want to make sure that I do it correctly and have an understanding also if you're proposing that I go to trial within 62 days that I know what I'm going into and what I may expect. So I didn't know if this would just be easier on everyone else if they just delegated the dates and gave me a printed copy with your order and whatever information you have. I don't know. I don't know either if you all are just proposing that because I'm incarcerated, just the dates are what you tell me. I don't know what I'm doing. I do not know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to learn as I go, which is why I'm grateful for everyone's patience. But at the same time, though, for me to accept this date and then not be able to meet it, what happens when that happens, if it should happen?
I can't answer that question. Again, that would be me providing you legal advice as to what to do if something happens. I simply cannot answer that question. I'm not allowed to.
Okay. Well, I'm with the court, so whatever it is that you all are trying to do in order to expedite this even more than what it's being expedited, I'm guessing I agree with September 17th.
Okay, all right. Now, ma'am, I believe that takes care of all of the deadlines with regard to the state's exhibits. Now I want to address deadlines for any exhibits or witnesses that you may be seeking. I am mindful that you will be receiving the discovery today and that you have not had the opportunity to review some of the items that may be in the discovery. So how much time would you like to provide to the court the list of exhibits that you may be seeking to enter and the list of witnesses that you may be seeking to have testified in a defense should you choose to put one on?
Please understand that I do not have access to a normal phone. I don't have access to a normal phone at normal hours. So I am trying to overcome the hurdle of trying to, number one, locate any of my witnesses, and then also try to communicate with them on a payphone only telephone call that I do not have regular access to, and that limits to only 15 minutes that I have to share with 62 other inmates. That is a hurdle, please, that I need for you to please take into consideration in order for me to be able to try to determine my witnesses, to determine any expert witnesses. May I ask, please, does the laptop have internet access?
I'm unaware. I'm unaware if it does.
To view any documents?
I'm unaware. I can't answer the question that I don't have an answer to. I'm unaware if it has internet access.
Who is it that I need to speak to in order for this?
We may be able to inquire of the jail representative who is appearing for the hearing this morning, and if not, the captain may be able to provide that information, but I do not know if it has internet access.
May I ask your contact names from the jail?
Give us 1 second.
Please, and also because of the court's error of sending my information that you're referencing to the incorrect address, could you please provide me a copy of that also?
What is it that you're asked? The protocol, ma'am? That was what was most recently sent.
I don't know. Whatever it is, the last thing that I received from you in the court was the hand delivery of the order regarding USB.
I have a copy that Madam Clerk's already printed out of the protocol. We will have the deputy hand deliver that to you right after. What did I do?
Wow.
Oh, I sent it to Anita. That's why. Give me a second. I'll have Madam Clerk print that out for you right now, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, understanding that as of right now, you do not have hard copies, you'll be provided digital copies, and to review all this evidence, ma'am, when in time do you feel comfortable in providing the court and the state a list of your witnesses and your exhibits that you may be seeking to introduce?
I'm going to go with to be determined because I just explained also, please, that I do not have access to a regular phone. I need to locate anyone. I need to do research. I don't know if I have internet access to anyone. I don't have a phone book. There's no way that I know how to do any of this without essentials and fundamental equipment in order for me to be able to provide you with those answers. I cannot promise anything because I do not know how I will be able to do any of that at this moment. I would like please to propose your understanding of a meeting that I would like to have with the captain, so I can see if I can have access to a regular phone, if I can have access to an internet. Right now, I have a tablet that is used for text messaging and movies and the law library that I utilize. I don't have access to the phone. I don't have access to the internet.
You can certainly have those conversations with the jail representatives. But ma'am, we were on notice today to address those deadlines, and I cannot set a to-be-determined deadline at this time. I understand that there's been some delays with regard to the discovery. As I told you at the last hearing, we're moving as expeditiously as possible to get you that, and it took some time for that process to be created. That process is going to start today. Mr. Lane's here. Representative from the Orange County Jail will be here. That handoff will take place. You'll have access to that laptop with all the information today.
If the defendant's not going to make a suggestion, make a state?
Sure.
My suggestion would be to give her 14 days after the point that the specific evidence identified by the state to be used at trial is provided to her. So, for example, the physical evidence, which we plan on giving her the list of those physical items well in advance of September 3rd. That will just be the date that she can actually see them. But my suggestion for those physical evidence items would be September 17th, and then 14 or 15 days after whichever day we get the specific list of digital evidence items to her would be our suggestion.
Okay. Ma'am, are you amenable to that? That would 14 days after you've had the opportunity to review the digital evidence and 14 days after you've reviewed the physical evidence to provide your exhibit lists?
I don't feel comfortable with any of this. I don't have the same opportunities as the state or any attorneys prior. So I feel that you all are pressuring me and forcing me into these dates which I may not be able to meet or exceed.
Can I add that obviously either side, if there's good cause for why a deadline wasn't met, if something comes up, then we're not prohibited either side from complying with the rules of discovery afterwards. But there would just need to be a cause shown at that point.
Do you understand that, ma'am?
I do.
That I'm setting these dates for now, and if either party can establish good cause why these dates should be moved.
Yes, and that is why I'm trying to make everyone aware prior to all of this to understand my circumstances by being incarcerated and not having access to a phone, not having access to the internet, and not having access to many more other, like I said, basics, fundamental basics, which is why I'm making you all aware now, so you are aware that when the time comes, should it lie for good cause, I'm stating my good causes now, if not, there are additional at that time.
Ma'am, as of right now, the court is inclined to agree with the state's suggestion that 14 days after viewing the digital evidence, which will take place no later than September 3rd, sounds like it'll take place way in advance of that, you are to provide in writing your list of exhibits that you want to attempt to move into evidence. 14 days after viewing the physical evidence on September 3rd, you are to provide in writing the list of any exhibits that may be physical that you intend to enter into evidence. Those dates can be extended for good cause that may be shown. State, would you like the opportunity to review those exhibits similar to an evidence viewing that we're having with Ms. Boone reviewing the state's exhibits? Would you like a similar opportunity to review any of her exhibits?
If the defense has any physical evidence to place in evidence, I can make those arrangements with Ms. Boone.
Okay, all right.
If she has any evidence,
I will set a
she has
deadline
nothing.
for the review of September 26th.
Is the review that you're speaking of, please, for my exhibits and witness list?
That is correct. I would also propose a similar date of September 17th for any of the witness lists for the defense. And Mr. J, would you be in a position by the 1st of September to provide any witness lists for the state?
She should have the witness list in the discovery that's being provided. As far as the order and the list of witnesses that we're going to call at trial, we will get in that ahead of 9/3.
Okay, all right, so the deadline for the state's production of the witness list will be September 3, no later than, and September 17th for Ms. Boone. Ma'am, similar to the objections to any discovery, that'll have to be in writing as to who it is that you may be calling as a defense witness. And you'll have to provide that to the court in writing by September 17th.
Yes, and if I may ask, please, what you're typing, is that for an order or for today's proceedings?
It is for an order which you will be given a copy of. It may not be able to be hand-delivered to you, ma'am, because I'm going to have to move some stuff around based on my scratch notes here, but at a minimum it will be mailed to the your proper address. Due to that clerical error, that will not be an issue.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, I think that addresses all the issues with regard to production and hearings on any objections. Anything else from the state that you believe we need to address from a scheduling concept?
We're good with the scheduling concepts. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Ma'am, do you have any questions with regard to the scheduling concepts or deadlines that we've addressed this morning?
Other than what I have made known to the court, I do not.
Okay.
You guys are
Bruce,
keep asking
can you
about
see if Mr.
Robert
Sergeant Casey's
Tullis.
here? He is here? All right, very good. Sir, could you come on up, please? Madam Clerk's going to go ahead and swear you in.
We're going to pause. Tullis is right here. I think they're waiting for the Tullis hearing to begin. I'm struggling with my setup here, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to bring that to you live. But I'm keeping an eye on that. It has not, according to what I can see, there's no audio yet, so it has not started. Let's see, that's on camera 6. We do have audio. Hang on. I think it's just court chatter. The Tullis trial. This is the reporter murder. This is live. We can jump back to Sarah Boone once there's a break. This is a hearing, a pre-trial hearing, because this one's coming up really quick. Love to see what happens here on this one. Right. We'll keep an eye on that as we're waiting. We've got. Let's go back to Sarah Boone. And as soon as Tullis has some action, we're going to jump to that one.
You can stay to the podium, sir. No, just the podium, Sergeant. If you could raise your right hand, Madam Clerk, and go ahead and swear you in.
Jules, welcome.
Can you state your name for the record?
Sergeant Donald Casey.
And what's your position at the Orange County Jail?
Sergeant.
And what are your duties and responsibilities, sir?
I'm over transportation, downtown court holding, BRC courts, medical security, and the juvenile assessment center.
Okay. Are you aware of the protocol that Captain DiGiovanni created with regard to Ms. Boone's use of the laptop?
I am.
Okay, all right. Have you had the opportunity to review that protocol?
I have.
Okay. Mr. Lane, can you come on up here, please, sir?
This is Billy Lane from Prison Break Investigations. Sarah Boone wrote him a letter. That's how he got on the case. Now he's not investigating. Now he's the custody of evidence.
Sir, good morning. Can you raise your right hand? Madam Clerk's going to swear you in.
Paid for by the state.
All right, sir. Good morning. Could you state your name for the record for me?
Billy Lane.
And what's your affiliation with Prison Break Investigations?
I'm the owner and chief investigator.
All right, sir. Last time I saw you, I had tasked you with digitizing 2 bankers' boxes of information, and you said that you would endeavor to accomplish that task by today, understanding that you were out of town for your son's wedding. I hope you had a great time. Were you able to fulfill that task, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many jump drives or drives do you have?
Of the digitized information, there's one of those. This drive here is a copy of all digital discovery that I have in my possession from Ms. Boone for the court's needs if they wish to facilitate that through the, figure it'd be easier to facilitate it now through the jail than me trying to bring it in myself.
That's exactly my thought. So you've shown to me, sir, a small thumb-sized USB jump drive. That USB jump drive is the information that was contained in the 2 bankers boxes, correct? And the other jump drive that was the larger of the 2, that jump drive is any digital information that you had previously by virtue of being the investigator.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, the record's going to reflect that information is going to be hand-delivered by Mr. Lane to Sergeant Casey. So Sergeant Casey, you please take custody of those 2 thumb drives. And I'm going to ask you, sir, to comply with the terms of the protocol, to have those added to the laptop. It'd be available for Ms. Boone's use today once she's returned to the Orange County Jail. Do you have any questions for Mr. Casey?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, sir, thank you very much. If you can proceed with that task, I appreciate you. Thank you. Mr. Lane, you took custody with you, sir, as well. Well, before you leave, Sergeant Casey, state, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, do you have any questions for Sergeant Casey regarding his compliance with the protocol as provided to be by the captain of the jail?
Mr. Casey, could you please make note to Captain DiGiovanni that if she has time at some point, as soon as possible, to please sit down with me for about half an hour to go over quite a few things that I need to have resolved?
I'll inform her.
Please, in regards to the laptop.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Lane,
What's
we were
half an hour?
you
What's
all
a
had 2
captain?
bankers boxes. Did you bring those back with you, sir? Okay, could you bring those back up?
Okay, let's see what we got here.
I do see it looks like the original exhibit tags are still on the top of those. Mr. Lane, did you complete and copy everything that was in both of those boxes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna have Madam Clerk take possession of what was pre-marked as A and B for the purposes of the June 28th hearing, and we'll hold those into evidence. Do you have any questions, Mr. J, for the investigator with regard to his task?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, ma'am, do you have any questions with regard to your investigator regarding his completion of the digitization process?
And my only question is, Mr. Lane, do you know when you would be coming to meet with me at the jail?
It's going to be my intent to try to get out there at the end of the week or beginning of next week.
Thank you.
And we lost that feed.
Over.
There, it's back.
Counselor, you're muted.
Yes, that would be acceptable, yeah, if Mr. Lane, and Your Honor, in light of this, maybe it might be more appropriate for the court to go up to 10,000 for the investigator, because it sounds like he's already done a lot of work, so it might make more sense instead of having to come back later.
Would that change the original, the 5,500, or just we would increasing 5,000 to 10,000?
5,000 to 10,000, I think would make sense, Your Honor, just because it sounds like that we may, based on what's already been done, and Mr. Lane may have some more to say about that, but based on what he's already done, I suspect he's probably used up a large chunk of that 5,000 just doing this one task.
One thing I would like to add, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
In lieu of having to come back and file another motion, is if JAC would agree to travel expenses and some out of county. If not, I can get that in some form of a writing and get it to you or to the JAC if that's acceptable.
Mr. Lake?
Your Honor, we'd have no problem with the court authorizing, saying that $1,000 for travel expenses as well.
All right, fine. So we'll increase it from 5,000 to 10,000 for investigative costs, and for travel-related expenses, 500 to 1,000. Mr. Lake, are you going to need an order for the court file with regard to those?
We would, Your Honor.
Okay, could you
Mr.
submit
Billy
that?
Lane just got another raise.
Yes, Your Honor, we will prepare the order and submit it.
All right, very good. Just send it to Ms. Barrios, who I believe you have her contact information.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Thank you, sir. Mr. Lane, thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Judge Bennett.
Yes, ma'am.
Forgive me. What is his name, please?
That's Christian Lake. He is an attorney associated with the JAC, the Judicial Administrative Commission, regarding costs for indigent defendants. All right, state from a scheduling perspective or the protocol, which I know I filed a notice of filing of, I'm sure you've had the opportunity to review it. Anything else we need to address from that?
We're good on scheduling, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, anything else we need to address regarding scheduling or the protocol other than what you've already addressed this morning?
Will my investigator be present at anything for and with me?
I can't speak to for or anything, but based on what we discussed today, your investigator will be there for the digital review, which will take place no later than September 3rd.
Okay, yes, I would like to have some type of witness from
He will be
the site
there.
also.
He will be there. Mr. J is going to be recording the conversation as he identified previously.
Thank you.
Now, ma'am, you made reference to some motions that you may have brought with you this morning.
Yes, please.
All right, if you could hand those to the deputy. Also, to the extent that the deputy has not already done so, I printed out a copy of the July 24th, 2024 protocol regarding your use of the laptop at the jail, and I'm going to ask the courtroom deputy to please hand deliver a copy of that to you. It was mailed to you, it was read to you at the last hearing, but now you have a physical copy of it, ma'am, to the extent one was not already provided to you.
Oh, yes, I have not received this yet.
Okay.
And then also there was another printout that she was going to provide me with, which I believe was a memorandum for today's dates.
I haven't, she being who, the captain?
No, I'm not sure her name.
Oh, Madam Clerk, no, the only thing she's printed out for you right now, ma'am, is that protocol. I'm going to be finalizing the order, and like I said, I may be able to finish it before we're done with the hearing, and I'll hand deliver it to you. If I cannot, it'll be mailed to you.
Yes, I understand. It was regards to another document proposing the dates for today's hearing. And I guess it was some type of notice. That's what I believe that she was going to print out to give to me, so I have that.
Okay. Mary?
I did not receive that, nor did I receive this protocol list.
As to everything that was being discussed, can you print out a copy of it first? It should be in the court file. All right, ma'am, let me take a moment to review your motions. Give me a moment here.
Thank you.
All right, Mrs. RA's found a way to get groceries here, so we're good. New motions incoming for Sarah Boone. We are going to be jumping to Robert Tullis right now, actually, as a matter of fact. Hold on. Let's jump, because I think we're expecting...
6578. Good morning. Mr. Jones is present. He's in custody.
Good morning, Your Honor. Pam Wefferly and Michael Schwartz are on behalf of the state.
And good morning, Caitlin Mackey, Miss Bar number 12616 with Christina Roosevelt office.
This is a different hearing.
Have you spoken to your client since you filed this motion?
Yes, and this seems to just be calendared after the fact. He understands that based on your prior rulings that this is not going to go forward for him. So I think he's just going to submit it.
Okay, Mr. Jones.
Prior to my last trying to have removal of counsel and self-representation, I was denied. So there's no point for the motion to go forward. I'm just going to be denied again. So I'll let counsel.
This was filed during trial, correct?
Yes, it was filed before.
And it was just delayed and being put on calendar?
Yeah.
Okay. How close are we to being able to set a penalty phase?
So I have an update on a lot of the records requests, not all positive, but so one of our school district requests came back no records. One is still no answer. It's unclear if there's going to be an answer.
This
There's
is
the
Mr.
mental health
Jones.
records that from Lakes Crossing that we thought we had, we didn't. I've spoken with the state about that, so that should be a quick turnaround. And then there's some like Social Security stuff that we're still waiting on, and so I was going to ask for 2 more weeks to have a better update on some of the longer ones, like some of the out-of-state mental health records before we set this, if that's okay with
I don't
the
think
board.
this is Robert Tullis's.
So, yeah, like I have the Lakes Crossing stuff, those other items we don't have.
This is other docket stuff.
Unique to him, but in California it sounds like, but 2 weeks is fine.
2 weeks, and maybe any court order, you can mention in the courts.
That's what I don't need to overspeak, that's what my investigator and I are speaking about, is we need to get more record production.
Okay.
Continued status check is going to be August 21st at 8:30 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
That's great. Your Honor, the last one I got that's quick is James Holmes with Mr.
We've got one more hearing here. We're working our way up to Mr. Tullis's hearing.
368820. Good morning. He is present in custody. Is your client well enough or in a position that we can set trial?
Your Honor, yes, we can. They had taken him for the surgery, and then there was a glitch, and so they had to cancel it. They're rescheduling his surgery. It's imminent that they're going to have that done. So if we could just set a trial date, maybe January, is that convenient to the court?
That's fine.
Status check trial readiness is going to be November 6th at 8:30 a.m. Pre-trial conference, January 7th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. Calendar call, January 21st, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. Jury trial, January 27th, 2025 at 10:30.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I apologize for missing yesterday.
Oh, no.
That was a scheduling issue.
Well, I'm glad you're back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can we please call Carter and get that
State versus Carter, PC 353883. Good morning. He is present and he's in custody. Who's the
I
district?
already saw him.
Mr. Hammers, he was here. He's out in the hall, he's out talking to the CA on ground.
I'm going to turn that down just for a little bit. The Judge Michael Levitt, I think it's Michael. That does not appear to be Judge Michael Levitt. What if she's filling in for him?
Yeah, we have been meeting, we seem to be on track and gearing up for the March 2025 trial date. We're still working on our experts, but we've got a lot of them doing their parts. So that's our status.
Nothing at this point is going to prevent us from going forward?
Nothing that we can.
Anticipating, right?
Continued status check is going to be November 6th at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Who else has Mr. Hammer on the DA side?
I do, Your Honor. Mine's good. Page 19.
They're working through their docket here. We're just waiting for Mr. Tullis's case to be called. He's accused of murdering an investigative journalist.
And we have Mr. Draskevich here as well.
He's not here, but his
Are you
counsel
appearing
is
for
here.
Mr.
Oh, it's Giacomo? Yes.
Yeah. So Julian and Jacobo, C377696.
Tellez, not Toles.
Both present. And you're going to appear for Mr. Jacobo?
Sure, William Brown for Mr. Yakubov and Mr. Draskevich as well.
Okay. Can I have representations regarding?
The regard. I spoke with Ms. Radosta about the writ. We anticipate starting on Tellus on Monday, so we were just asking for a little more time. She didn't have any objections. I think we previously even asked this for the defense as well, to have a little extra time to get something filed, or at least argument on it. So if we could just have 30 days, I think that's what we talked about, right?
I think, yeah, if we could do the argument, maybe I think like the second week of September would give Mr. Hamner about 30 days to file a written response. If he can get it sometime that week before.
Set for hearing.
Hearing is going to be on September 12th at 8:30 a.m.
Okay, how are you as far
You're
as
right. That
getting
is
ready for
Michelle
trial?
Levitt, not Michael Levitt. Michael Levitt was a governor.
Working towards it, Your Honor. Obviously, kind of depending on what happens with the writ, it'll determine, if we have as many charges to be, because some of them are, it's a little scattered in this particular case. There's separate allegations, separate residences, things like that. So, but at this point, I anticipate we would be ready for a February trial, unless there's some new discovery that is turned over. But as of right now, I think I have everything the state has.
Nothing I do. I anticipate that we will be ready in February as well, barring something else presented.
Anticipate being ready.
Continued status check is going to be November 6th at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, now it's Mr. Draskevich. Oh, can we call Tellus now?
Yeah, we're ready for it.
State versus Tellus, C368935. He's present. He's in custody. Okay. Good morning.
Morning, Robert Draskevich on his behalf.
Good morning, Your Honor. Pam Markley and Chris Hamner on behalf of the state.
I'm David Chavez, 1.1 and 2 on behalf of the Review Journal, and present via Zoom is Ashley Kissinger.
She had to sign in under your name?
I guess so.
Okay. Good morning. All right. Can we have an update?
Yeah.
Review Journal?
We are still on track to produce by August 12th, beginning of the trial date.
So the first day of trial.
Yes, Your Honor, which is, I think, Monday.
Yeah, that's right. That's Monday.
Okay. Well, how's that going to affect? I mean, it doesn't look like we're starting on Monday.
Yeah, depending upon what's exactly going to be turned over at this time, obviously we want to keep our trial date and we want to proceed. What time does Your Honor generally begin jury selection? What time does Your Honor plan on beginning jury selection?
Right, we already have our panel because we did the questionnaire.
Correct.
So we could.
What time would be present with the potential jurors?
Right, we would probably have to start at 11 a.m. on Monday. Or, we could start earlier and then just take a break for that hearing. I have a hearing set at 10:30.
Could we start perhaps at 1 o'clock on Monday? I think
Sure. Do you need to start in the afternoon?
I think that would be better given the current circumstances.
Right. Maybe you guys can get the documents and then be prepared to inform the court whether you can proceed.
Yeah, are they producing Monday morning? Because or Monday at 5.
So,
Question?
Yeah, so our plan is to produce on Monday morning.
Okay. Are you gonna come here and produce them here? How are they gonna be produced?
So when we produce the information from the laptop, I dropped them off at everyone's respective offices. I was prepared to do the same thing for the laptop.
Okay.
We will be flying in an expert to review everything in short matter. So, I mean, he's arriving over the weekend, so yeah, Monday morning would be obviously preferable.
Okay. Then we can just continue our matter till Monday at 1 o'clock.
Somebody standing in front of the
And
camera.
then we can make a determination as to how we're gonna proceed and whether we start with jury selection.
So we may not be starting
How
on
many
Monday.
witnesses does the state have, and how long do you think it will take?
We have about
25.
About 20 witnesses. We think we will finish, well, it kind of depends on jury selection and this timing a little bit, but I believe we'll be done with our case at the end of the day on Friday.
So week-long
About
case.
5 judicial days?
Yes.
We have at least a dozen witnesses noticed up. We have potential expert witnesses. I would anticipate our case in chief lasting well into the next week. So,
Okay, so 10 days?
correct.
All right, and the attorneys that are going to be trying the case, they're all here today?
Mr. Horvath will be accompanying me. He's covering other matters, but yes, for the state.
We'll be here.
All righty, so Monday at 1 o'clock, we also have a couple of motions on. I don't know, do you want to argue them today?
The matters have been, I'd be happy to argue on Monday, court's pleasure. Everything's been laid out, our position's laid out. These issues have been addressed in different ways previously. We just wanted to make sure that the record was complete.
Okay, then you can decide on Monday.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
We do have one other matter. I got a call yesterday.
He wants to talk.
We have a licensed private investigator who predates my involvement in this case. He called me last night. He was concerned he's being denied visitation. We prepared an order. We don't have any issues. We've come this far. He needs to have access to my client during regular visitation hours. He was taking some paperwork, legal paperwork. He was denied access. You know, this can't happen, especially now.
Well, what was the reason?
They just said that certain investigators, certain private investigators are not to have access, contact visits with defendants, which obviously is violative of the Department of Justice guidelines.
Have you been going to the jail?
He has been up until yesterday, yes. And obviously, with all that's going on, obviously I need the investigator, a licensed investigator, we don't have access to my client. Greg Frankie. I have an order that's prepared. I showed it to the state that just says that he's to have access to my client, to our client during business, during the non-lockdown hours.
He's been going over there routinely?
He has been, yes.
Just yesterday?
Correct.
No reason?
None that he was given, other than that they've now changed the policy concerning non-attorney visits. And he went there with paperwork to give Mr. Tellis.
Okay.
Thank you.
This judge, if her glasses are any further down her nose, it'd be at her feet. It's impressive. Jennifer, I left the paddles home. I'm sorry.
Want me to sign each one?
Or we could make copies. I would just ask that we have a file stamp copy so Mr. Frankie can go to the jail with a file stamp copy.
Seems crazy that the Las Vegas Review is saying we will give copies of the laptop to everybody on day one of trial during jury selection. There's evidence that still hasn't come in. Very, very late. This is the murder trial. This is the next one we want to follow. It's supposed to start on Monday.
Make sure you get a file stamp. On Monday at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Monday at 1 o'clock. That's going to run late. At least I'm in the same time zone. Okay, we're about to jump back to.
Yes, thanks. If we could start with page 14.
Okay, we're going to jump back to Sarah Boone now. So that was just a quick update. That's an upcoming case. Jury selection starts next week on Monday. That is Robert Tellis. He's accused of murder, accused of stabbing a recovery. Sorry, I just read Recovery Addict. He's accused of stabbing a investigative journalist. It's a juicy one. It's a juicy one. There's a lot. We're gonna watch it from the get-go. So it is in Las Vegas. So it's going to be a late start, a run late sort of trial. But it's slated for about 10 days, which will last about half of my vacation here. So, yes, for those that are watching, I am in a new studio. This is where I'm at. It's not the most glamorous, but it is definitely bigger than what I normally operate in. I still have to figure out how to make it look like I'm not looking for a bug anytime I'm watching TV. But the journalist was investigating him, I believe. Anyway, I'm in Mountain Time Zone, yes. Las Vegas is as well. But I've got to figure it out. First of all, this chair, it looks comfy. It reclines a little too far. Like it goes way back. And it feels like I'm sitting on the small end of a baseball bat with a little doily on it for cushioning. It is not comfortable. So I'm either going to get some pillows and prop myself up a little bit or what. But anyway, I think we'll get this figured out. I have almost everything. I need this little piece working, and I need to do some IP work on the network. I've sort of had to build a little network within a network so that I can see each other, and I've got it to partially work, but it keeps dropping, and I'm not sure why. But I'll figure it out. I think Vegas is Mountain Time Zone, isn't it? Tracy Lynn, am I wrong on that one? What's resting against your monitor? Apple TV. Underneath the Apple TV, I have, if you watch for the little lights, boom, this little light right here. If it goes green, if it's red, that's recording. So let's hit record, boom. This is it's called a Cloud Dock. Cool thing about a Cloud Dock is it has hot swappable SSD drives. So this is a 2 gigabyte Samsung SSD drive. I can just snap in there and I can start recording to it. Card full. We're going over here. I think they're hot swappable. I might have ruined it. Let's see. Yeah, they work. See, it's recording. So I can record to that from a HyperDeck. Both my HyperDecks record to that. And then I can play back from there and edit things live on the Mac Studio. I'm still working with the Stream Deck to get the buttons to work, because right now they don't. It's not talking properly to this laptop, which then talks to this laptop, which talks to this. So I've got to get everything working. I love the Stream Deck, by the way. This Stream Deck runs my entire show. It's amazing. Adam Tao wrote the software that I use on this, and he only charges $50 for it. It is worth 5 times that at least. It's incredible. Great guy. All right. Vegas is Pacific Time Zone. Okay. Well, there you go. So it's going to be an hour after me. So 1 o'clock there. It's a start time on Monday. So it's going to be 2 o'clock start time, jury selection on Monday. I'm in Utah. I'm sort of halfway between Salt Lake City and Ogden. Actually, I'm probably closer to Ogden. And I'm there because my son's getting married up in Idaho next month, and we decided we wanted a vacation. And so we brought the whole family out here. So the family is vacationing. We rented an Airbnb, which is much nicer and bigger than our normal house. But the price was great. It's a wonderful location. We've got a master bedroom. I've got a great view. I can look out and see the mountains out there. Those are the ridge lines, birds flying. I can even watch my kids if they're playing in the park that's right behind us. Looks like somebody left what is that? Oops, sorry. Getting dizzy here. Somebody left a bag or something on the ground. Turn down turn down the speed here. What would that be? Focus. Yep. Somebody left a little bag. It might be a purse. So you have to go find that. Return it to somebody. But that's out the window of the bedroom. There's the bed. Sorry. I'm coming to you live from the master bedroom of the Airbnb. And that's me over here. So anyway, we're going to jump back to Sarah Boone. If I left that room today, yes, I went and had breakfast out in the dining room. It's a bright studio. Unfortunately, all the light is behind me, which makes me sort of dark, and I've got a lot of light behind me. So I brought in one of the bed lamps and it's sitting in front of me, so you can see the light. See how it glows? It's so nice. But we're really happy, lucky to be here, and loving it. We're looking forward to spending a month here. All right. It might be a helmet. Could be a bike helmet. There was a bike out there earlier, so. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. Let's see. We're running back to Sarah Boone to watch just the tail end of the Sarah Boone hearing. We've got just a few minutes left on that one. Once that we've got neighbors take care of and our cat has 2 homes. The other owners are much better at taking it to the vet. And they've, every time it gets a scratch, the other owners, who I think are the true owners, they might have actually bought the cat. I don't know. They take it to the vet, and so it's been every time it gets a little scratch, it gets in little fights with some of the neighbor cats. They take it to the vet, and it gets stitched up and everything. The cat's going to be fine while we're away. There's no problems there. But we have people who are filling the water fountain for it, the cat fountain, feeding it. It's all good. It's all good. How many times will Ari rearrange the setup before leaving the Airbnb? Well, Teresa, we're taking some of these things. We're taking the hyperdeck, not the cloud dock, but the hyperdeck is going to go with us up to Park City on Friday for the Corey Richens hearing, which I'll be in person for. I hope to bump into Danny on direct while we're up there. Maybe possibly a few of you will be there as well. Make sure you introduce yourselves, because I'm not going to remember your picture from your profile picture. And introduce yourselves often. That's the best advice. Introduce yourselves often, because I have a terrible, terrible memory for names in person. We have that going on. Then Robert Tullis, who's going to be starting the case down in Arizona, which that trial starts on Monday. So we're going to do that. Let's jump back to where we were with Sarah Boone just briefly and finish out this hearing, just so we can get that wrapped up for Friday. Corey Richens has 2 hearings this month. We're going to be at both of them. The first one is this week. The next one is a 3-day hearing at the end of the month. We're going to be on both of those. She's in Park City, Utah, home of the 2002 Winter Olympics.
One of your motions, the motion for defendant's immediate address correction. As identified earlier, there was a clerical error using the general P.O. box as opposed to legal mail. That's been remedied. So I'm going to go ahead and grant that motion, as that's already been remedied, but I don't have a problem granting your motion for the correct address for any legal mail.
I've not seen a verdict yet from Judge Boyd in that case, which means the jury might still be deliberating. Right, sorry, you're correct, Roro. We watched the verdict. I've not seen the jury come back with the sentence, because the jury doesn't determine the sentence.
Mr. J, if you want to approach, sir, to review the hand-delivered motions, it is the motions for defendant's reasonable freedom and movement by allowing her to be unshackled, unhandcuffed, to function equally and comfortably while utilizing the courtroom. The second motion is the motion for defendant to lawfully receive, review, utilize the original hard copy discovery, parentheses, 2 boxes, -A, B, parentheses, submitted to the court by former attorney, parentheses, S, and parentheses, on June 28, 2024, for preparation of trial in her criminal case. Just review those, Counselor. Just let me know when you're ready to address them.
Your Honor, in regards to the first motion, we need to notice the Sheriff's Office, who is in charge of courtroom security, so we're not able to address that today unless they're allowed. I don't know if you're able to contact the person that's in charge of that today. Otherwise, we would need a separate day for that motion.
Okay.
As far as the second motion, it's completely up to the defendant. We have no standing to say anything about it. If she wants to have her documentary discovery in hard copy form, that's between whoever and whoever, but not the state of Florida.
Okay, all right, I appreciate that, sir. Ma'am, with regard to your request for discovery, the hard copy discovery, you've advised me multiple times seeking to use a laptop. I have written correspondence from you asking for a laptop. That laptop is being provided. At the last hearing, you advised that you wanted hard copies. You've also advised me that you live in the female dormitory, you have limited to no privacy, and you have nowhere to store anything. You have a small drawer to keep personal effects, and that's it. There's nowhere, is my understanding, in communications with the captain, to place this information. There's nowhere to house it. There's nowhere to store it. You do not have, by your own admission, any place to place it.
Is that your understanding now, or are you asking me?
No, those are just statements that I know that are in the court file that you've made. You've written letters requesting a laptop. That's been provided to you.
I've never.
You have written letters, ma'am, specifically asking for a laptop.
Do you know what the date of that is?
Without me going through all the correspondence. But when we have our hearing on the issue of the your motion for freedom and movement, well, I'll notice the sheriff, and we'll try to set that up for this week so that it can be done expeditiously.
Okay.
We can address that at that time. But the jail has advised me they have no place to store this information, these hard copies. You've advised me you have no privacy and nowhere to place them. So I'm not saying no, but I don't know how I can facilitate this for you. When you do not have a place to store it, the jail does not have a place to store it.
We have an entire property department for all of the inmates on the entire compound. I've been given permission also by sergeants.
Who?
Corporal Ward, Sergeant Dunn, Sergeant DeJesus. Have the understanding that I have been forced to represent myself as pro se and have temporarily given me a property bag where I can store additional case documents at my bunk. Help me understand, please, for future reference, so I know how to approach. By my statements that I made to you, questions were not asked in order for you to come to the conclusion that you are coming to that I did not want my hard copy. I was never formally asked by you to see if I wanted my hard copy discovery. I would believe it was the court's understanding, the judge's understanding, that it should automatically be allowed to give to me. My understanding, and trying to explain to you also, so you have an understanding, is my limited, restricted access to the laptop is from 8 to 4. I, with 62 days left in order to defend myself in preparation for trial, would like to close that laptop at 4 p.m. and then take out the discovery hard copy in the 2 boxes that I have. I haven't spoken to the captain yet. I just now received the protocol for the laptop. I know that you had mentioned it to me the last time we met with one another. So I'm confused how everyone is confused by me coming to the court with solutions and ideas and suggestions, but are being misinterpreted and misconstrued like my letters from my attorneys, and you're coming to the wrong conclusion.
I'm not coming to any conclusion. The process was created, and I'm just reciting what you've said to me at prior hearings, ma'am. That's all I'm doing. You've told me you have limited space. You've told me that you have no privacy, and that you have a small drawer for personal effects. This is the first time I've heard anything about you having a locker or some kind of bag, or property bag, that you now have access to. That wasn't addressed at our last hearing. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. So I'm not drawing any improper conclusions, as I identified for you with the process. The jail created this process. It was something that they put together. And as I told you, we worked diligently to move forward, to get with the jail, to have this done. There's no nefariousness here. There's no undermining. There's nothing along those lines. I want you to have this information. And as I addressed at the last hearing, I could not copy it. I can't look at it. I can't look at what's in those 2 bankers' boxes. Ms. Barrios cannot. No one associated with my office can look at it. We had to use your investigator to do that. And what the jail has advised me is that they were not in a position to take both those banker's boxes because of space and potential hazards. Now, if something has changed and the captain advises me that you can have those documents, I don't have a problem with you having them. But what I've been advised, as identified in that protocol, is to how and when you can have access to the information. And unfortunately, it wasn't in physical form, it was in digital form. And that was the process that the jail created. They are aware it's 2 banker's boxes. They're aware of what the information is. Everything has been out in the open to address your concerns and how to facilitate getting this information to you. No one's withholding anything. No one's trying to hide the ball.
My opinion differs.
My opinion
I've never asked
differs.
anything. Just like my letters to you prior to you forfeiting my right to counsel, I was never asked anything in order for you to have a better understanding.
Ma'am, I'm not going to revisit that.
I am not, you never asked me in regards to the hard copy.
Hang on, yes.
How quickly can we have an evidentiary hearing with the captain or whomever we need?
My understanding is she's on vacation this week.
Okay.
So, which is why Sergeant Casey was here, because Captain DiGiovanni is on vacation. And I cannot recall off the top of my head when she's set to return. She's set to return on the 12th.
So if the document, what would be the process? Because it's marked, tagged, and in evidence, so there would need to be a motion to get it released from evidence.
I mean, I would entertain an or tennis motion to have it released from evidence. The concern, as in Mr. J, this is the first time I had the opportunity to discuss this case with you. I know I've been dealing with Mr. Cacciatore. We had a hearing, and I'm sure you're versed on this, but let me just kind of bring you up to speed. We had a hearing in June, and at that point in time, I forfeited Ms. Boone's right to an attorney based on her conduct and alternatively a waiver. And I'm sure you've read it. Thereafter, the court endeavored to figure out how to get those 2 banker's boxes that Ms. Cashman had provided to the court at that hearing in Ms. Boone's possession. It took time for the jail to come up with a policy and a procedure for that to happen. I was advised by the captain that they could not take custody or possession of those 2 banker's boxes because of A, storage, and B, because of the hazard. Now, if the jail's in a position to revise that by virtue of Ms. Boone identifying a property bag or something that may be available for her use, I'm 100% on board. If the jail says, yeah, we can facilitate and make that happen, her getting that information. I'm just traveling with what I've been provided, and the protocol that was provided to me that's been filed in the court file was not inclusive of providing her hard copies.
I understand. I'm just trying to find a solution. So if she moves Ori Tennis to release those 2 exhibits to her investigator, then perhaps he can try and get them released to her. And if he cannot, then it sounds like on the 12th we can revisit this when the captain's back.
I don't know if she returns on the 12th or that's when her vacation ends. It's a Monday, so I'm assuming she'll be back, but I don't want to make any affirmative statements on that. I don't have a problem. Mr. Lane's had this discovery. I don't have a problem with him taking custody of it again. And if he's able to deliver it to the jail and they allow it to be released to Ms. Boone, I don't have a problem with that. I have no problem with it. I'm just traveling on what the jail has advised the court in the creation of this process.
So if she wants to Ori Tennis, which means oral motion, move to release those 2 exhibits, the state has no objection. And it sounds like if Mr. Lane can't get them to her, we'll be able to revisit this in the near time future.
Yes.
Just so that she's advised. So I don't want to ask her, but perhaps the court can ask her about this one.
Ma'am, the state has recommended a position for in an attempt to get you these hard copies. Is that something that you would like the court to, would you like to follow with the state's suggestion and ask of that of the court orally this morning?
I'm not understanding what it is that he's trying to do. May I please propose that the hard copies go to Mr. Lane, and then once I have permission by the captain and whomever, you can release them to me?
Granted.
No objection to her motion.
Okay. Mr. Lane, thank you for staying, sir. I appreciate you. If you could come back up here, sir, and take custody of both of those banker's boxes. I will have Ms. Barrios coordinate a hearing for the 13th at 8:45. We cannot do the 13th because it's pre-trial. You're correct. We will have a hearing on August 14th, if necessary, on Wednesday, August 14th at 1:30, if we need to address the jail's position in taking hard copies if Mr. Lane is unable to have it delivered.
Knees, not with your back, sir.
Mr. Lane, you had advised earlier when Ms. Boone had inquired of you as to when you might be able to go visit her. You said the end of this week or by next week. If when you go to visit her by the end of this week or next week, bring that with you and see if the jail would be in a position to take it. If they are, I'm going to ask you to file a similar notice, sir, that that information was provided to the jail on what date and to whom. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Look at the signs. Please do not approach the clerk. Please do not approach the
Yes, ma'am.
What would the hearing be for on the 14th then, for the jail taking?
The hearing on the 14th, ma'am, would be if Mr. Lane is unable to have the jail take physical custody of those 2 boxes for your review outside of the laptop, we would have a hearing to address what, if any, protocols the jail may be able to utilize in you having those documents. It may not be necessary. We're going to go ahead and set it if we need it. If we don't need it, we will not have a hearing.
Thank you. And then so there would not be needing to be made an updated evidence control sheet right now. It has been tossed to Mr. Lane.
As of right now, the court minutes are going to reflect that what was pre-marked as A and B from the June 28th hearing is being provided to Mr. Lane.
Thank you.
Okay. With regard to your reasonable freedom motion, I'm going to set that for this Friday. Is the state available at 8:45 on Friday?
This will just get cuffs off while she's in court. I think this will be granted. Because she's pro se, she has to go to the right.
Ms. Barrios will coordinate with a representative from the Orange County Jail to address the reasonable freedom motion. Ma'am, I'm going to hand file both of these motions with Madam Clerk, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Is there anything else we need to address this morning, State?
Not from the state.
Anything else we need to address, Ms. Boone?
Please bear with me, yes, please, 1 moment. What was the conclusion for the sensitive issues of having the media incorporated in the courtroom?
I need to research that matter a little bit further before I can make an order that would prohibit media access.
Do you know what your deadline may be or estimated?
It'll be well before the 3rd. That's deadline is set for September 3rd at 9 a.m. when we'll have that viewing. I will endeavor to get that done as quickly as possible. Ma'am, you also had asked for a list of the persons that Captain DiGiovanni had provided. The names of the persons at the jail regarding the laptop protocol is Captain Giovanni, Donald Casey, who was here this morning, Stephanie DeJesus, Sonia Robinson, Courtney Battle, and Malik Muhammad.
Thank you for that. Would you be able to provide me with a hard copy?
I will put that in the order that'll be mailed to you, ma'am.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay.
If I may, I don't know if I'm allowed to address the state directly.
Yeah, you represent yourself, absolutely.
How do I go about getting a copy of my phone or utilizing my phone? Is that something that can be brought to the courtroom? And during the evidentiary, the physical evidence, that I might be able to utilize that?
Her phone?
So my understanding is there was an imaging done on your phone with software called Cellrite, and that is part of the digital discovery that has been provided to you. If you are talking about the physical device being re-examined by your own expert, then you would need to find and retain your own expert to do that without giving you legal advice or suggesting that he is the person you hired. I know that defense attorneys in this area hire somebody named Richard Connor, C-O-N-N-O-R, and then that will be between you and the AAC and him, whether or not he wishes to work for you and at what rate, so on and so forth. And then that examination would be done by him, with us being present if we wanted to be present.
Yes, I have reviewed, I believe, 2 or 3 different thumb drives were given to me at one point, where I researched all of them extensively, also included with Mr. Lane, and it is nothing of use. It's primarily cookies and history and so forth. So that's why I don't understand who it is, a legal expert that can give me a mere download of my entire phone in regards to videos and pictures and contacts. I could probably supply a witness list for the mayor if I were to have accessibility to my phone in regards to my contacts. That's why I didn't know if it would be allowed to have my phone physically here in the presence of everyone, including law enforcement, to be able to physically look at my phone and go through it and to see what I can extract myself while here in the courtroom before trying to figure out how to locate and contact an expert to download all of that to receive.
So all that information should have been downloaded, and I'm not sure what has been provided to you, but we will be double checking that.
If it's not been provided.
Yeah, your contact information,
Is it
all
too
the
late to
videos,
delete a video?
photographs, everything on your phone should have been downloaded. And what you may have reviewed is just a PDF file called the timeline, but there is additional data there, and we will make sure you have that. And then when it comes time to our digital evidence deadline, which I hope to exceed well before 9/3, we will be identifying which portions of it is of your phone, if any, that we seek to introduce at trial. So it may be texts from December 2nd, 2019, whatever it is. We will identify those pages, we will identify those files, because obviously your entire phone, however many gigabytes it is not going to just come into evidence, because like you said, there's so much of it that would be not relevant.
Yes, thank you. So you all have already had access to my phone and have researched it fully?
We're not going to talk about our work product. I'm telling you what, based on my experience from other phone examinations is, all that information should be there. And it's typically presented in 2 different fashions. One is a large PDF, typically hundreds of thousands of pages, depending on how much you use your phone every day. And then there's a separate big digital image file that is read with what's called a UFED reader, and then that is where you can go in and look at everything.
Yes, sir, thank you. I've not seen any of that.
We are going to make sure that that is taken care of.
And that, just as clarification from the court perspective, is that something that would have been provided in discovery to prior counsels?
Yes.
Okay, then ma'am, as Ms. Cashman identified, she had everything. It's already been digitized for you, and to the extent you're able to have the hard copies, it'll be provided to you. So you'll have access to all that information today when you return to the jail.
Yes, thank you. None of it was gone over in any way, shape, or form with Ms. Cashman or any prior, so this would be a milestone, a big milestone for me to be able to finally do that. So now, if I don't have what I need or I'm looking for, how do I go about, I know you all can't tell me because of legal matters, but do I need to write a motion? I don't know what I need to do in order to finally get a copy near download of my phone. If it could be brought to you for physical, with the other physical.
So again, that is going to be something that requires an expert. And then if you get a defense expert and the JAC pays for it, then we make arrangements to meet with that expert. That expert will have the opportunity to image your entire phone just as we did, and you all can work with that image. And you're going to be, if you don't already, on those thumb drives that Mr. Lane has, if you don't already have the full extraction and not just the PDF timeline of your phone, we're going to make sure that that is provided.
Okay, so that is not able to be included in the other physical evidence that you all are supplying?
No, what I'm saying is there's two different ways that I see phone extractions. One is the PDF, which is what I think you're referring to, is the timeline of this communication, so on and so forth. And then there is the actual ginormous file that is read with a UFED program. And all that should be provided to you. Hopefully your laptop can use it. It does take some specifications on the computer to open it. In fact, we're addressing those issues at our office with our own computers. And if it doesn't work, we will cross those bridges as we get there. And all you can, I've worked with Mr. Lane before. Just let him know. Mr. Lane knows how to find me. We will work this all out and get what you need.
Absolutely, yes. I am grateful for your information. Just to clarify, please, during the physical evidence of me viewing that here in the courtroom, am I not able to physically open my phone and search through it?
No, because it needs to be in a Faraday box where radio signals don't come and go, because anytime you turn on your phone, it changes the contents of the phone.
Thank you very much.
Ma'am, do you have any other questions?
So I won't be able to delete any videos.
Okay, so everyone is aware that I'm in the process of trying to talk to the captain. And handcuffs. Okay. Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
I believe I am okay for right now. You and I do not have a direct way of communication, and I didn't know. Another big hurdle is if the laptop has internet access where I don't know if emailing or messaging or whatever, however it is that you and I can communicate. Rather than snail mail and you writing a letter. I don't know when I write a letter how soon you receive it, because sometimes it's days or weeks that it's uploaded to the clerk's website. Do you have a general time frame of when you actually know something? Because you already have my address correction, but I don't believe updated.
Well, it's been updated now.
No, I mean on the clerk's website.
I can't speak to what's on the clerk's website. I know for the purposes of my records and getting information to you, that clerical error has been remedied.
Do you have any other suggestions? If I do not have internet, would my only possibility to correspond with you be via mail?
That's my understanding. And you asked when I receive things. I get it as soon as I get it from in the mailbox. So we check the mailbox every day. As soon as I get it, it doesn't go to the clerk, it goes directly to me. And I review it. As you saw with the motions that you made reference to at our last hearing, that you had 5 of them, we set those for hearing immediately. And I intend on continuing to try to do that to facilitate prompt resolution to any concerns or issues or motions that you may have.
There will be more letters.
And if I do have internet access or I'm able to put on, if it's not already, am I able to correspond with you via email?
You cannot correspond with me directly, but you can have conversations with my judicial assistant to the extent that you do have access to internet. I'll make sure to include her email address and telephone number in the order setting the deadlines that we addressed this morning.
Yes, thank you. And for any, I'm not sure specifically which JA, but as soon as something is scheduled, could you all please make sure that I'm included in the certificate of service or portal or whatever it is that I might be attached to in order to receive notices to be properly prepared?
Notices have been sent, ma'am. To the extent that there was a clerical issue, that's been remedied, but you have been copied on everything that's been filed with the court, including the JAC's response, the notice of the hearing that was set for today, and the notice of the filing of the protocol. With that, I will see you all this coming Friday at 8:45 to address the motion regarding reasonable freedom in movement. State, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll see you all Friday. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We'll return Ms. Boone to the custody of the Orange County Jail.
I'm grateful. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, so Miss Boone exits court. We're going to have her back on Friday. Friday is also the Corey Richens hearing. So we've got, I believe it's Friday. Friday at 1 o'clock, I think, is the Corey Richens hearing. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe she was asking for her phone. I want my physical phone because I want to be able to go through it and to look at the contacts and the videos and delete things. And the judge is giving Sarah Boone his judicial assistant's email and phone number. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, that seems like a little much. The poor judicial assistant. They already go through so much work. Yeah, this is going to be crazy. Anyway, we'll see what's happening. Dry cleaning is here. Did you see the dry cleaning? Oh, that's my son. He didn't know he was live on the screen. Yes, he brought his suit coat. Obviously, he was wearing the suit for the wedding, and he had some cough drops in the pocket, and it was in a garment bag on top of all the luggage in the sun, and it was 105 degrees driving across Nebraska and Wyoming, and the cough drops liquefied, and so we're looking for a dry cleaner right now to fix his suit. So anyway, let's see where else. Oh, we have a hearing. Oh man, it just barely dropped. It just dropped. I was trying to catch up on it. I can play what I've got. Judge Boyce was live a moment ago with I've recorded this at 1.25 speed trying to catch up because he's only live. I mean, when he's live, and that's what you get. But he was live a minute ago with this. Just want to hear what it was. Do we have any audio? We're waiting for it to start. Nobody's talking. This was a Daybell hearing. Judge, he's muted. He's looking frantically for the unmute button. Nobody's paying attention because they can't hear him. I don't think they can come back hung. I think the judge would have some options there. I guess, they could come back hung on the penalty for Judge Boyd's. If they come back hung, they can do a mistrial just on the penalty phase, seat a new jury just on penalty and proceed again. But they wouldn't go back to the guilt phase. How do we cover 3 cases on the same day? Oh my goodness, there's a lot going on, and I'm just still trying to catch up on what I missed. Bodie, I'm quite a normal guy. Quite a normal guy. A little bit weird, but other than that, yes, I'm quite normal. I'm not getting audio. I'm seeing audio here. Give me a second here.
The Uniform Post-Conviction Procedure Act under Idaho Code 194901 et al. Also governs certain proceedings here. So one of the things I do just want to talk about is timing and get input from counsel before I would set out a scheduling order. And apologies, there's a lot of traffic outside my office here today. They're doing construction. In addition, I just wanted to set some standards for future hearings as well. Typically, only on this first status conference, we're conducting this by Zoom, but any other substantive hearings are likely going to be held in person in Fremont County, just so council's aware of that. We did note there's not a court reporter appearing today, but we've confirmed we've got an audio signal. The Zoom software should be picking up what's being said, as well as I'll confirm with the court clerk. The court's FTR system is working in the courtroom. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and are you hearing us loud and clear in the courtroom for that audio signal?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you for confirming that. All right, council, the timeframes we've got in Idaho Code 1927-19 put us on a very shortened schedule here.
which I'm concerned about, but do want to hear from counsel. The deadlines I've calculated would be just looking at that statute under 1927-19, 7 and 8. This matter is supposed to be decided within 90 days of the filing of the petition, and that's going to put us at October 15th. If the court determines there's an evidentiary hearing required, I'm going to have time to prepare written findings of fact and conclusions of law. And the state, under the regular post-conviction statute of 1949-06, has 30 days to file a response date, which puts the time I have calculated there at August 16th. So maybe the first initial starting point would be, Ms. Blake, an inquiry about where you stand in terms of, is a response going to be filed? And if so, do you have a time frame in mind, noting that
So this
the
is
standard deadline would put
post-conviction Chad Daybell. This was just barely happened moments ago.
Yes,
at
Your
Judge
Honor, the
Boyce.
state is intending to file a response. I think at this point, I would say we'll try to get it done before the 16th, but we may be looking at closer to the 16th for the actual filing date on that. But we do intend to file a response and we'll have it done within the deadline.
Okay, thank you for that.
It's a post-conviction
Mr. Thompson,
motion.
I would note, in addition to the petition, there's already been a notice filed that there's an intent to file a follow-up petition and a extensive list of additional information you'll be seeking in order to file an amended petition. I'm going to have to go through determinations, of course, number one, as to whether or not to permit an amended petition, and then number two, on the extension of any deadlines. And I will note the statute has some of the strongest language I've seen anywhere in any rule or statute in terms of extending deadlines here. Under 1927-19 sub 8, I would have to have a showing of extraordinary
1927-19.
circumstances, and I would have to make a finding of impossibility, which is pretty unusual. And then finally, I would have to have a confirmation from the Idaho Supreme Court if I were to grant any extension. So, of course, at the outset, the court's presumption here is we are going to get this done by October 15th, the 90-day time frame. I need to get a scheduling order out initially, and if you want to be heard on the issue of the time frames we're looking at under
This
that
has to do with
special
death penalty
statute that governs
execution.
this proceeding, I'll allow you to make some comment on that at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I can just have ask for Your Honor's patience for a minute and sort of lay out what is going on our end. I wanted to reiterate, obviously this is not lost on anyone in the room, but we come into this case, the only ones in the room that aren't intimately familiar with this case, and we're representing Mr. Daybell as new counsel. And that's separate counsel from trial counsel, as it's sort of set forth in Criminal Rule 44.2 and 44.3. So everyone in this room, other than our office, has been living and breathing this case for over 3 years, at least since the indictment. And we have an incredible amount of work to do from our perspective, just to get up to speed, just to catch up to where the county council or the state's council is at today. So I wanted to just briefly fill you in on where we're at in anticipation of sort of asking for that extension as contemplated in 1927-19-8. We do believe it's impossible to get this done on that timeline. And we're happy to file a motion to that effect.
They're asking for an
if necessary.
extension.
So this is an unprecedented case for our office. We've never seen anything this size before. Mr. McCarty and I also have 6 other open capital cases currently, and we still have an attorney vacancy in our unit. What we received on the date of our filing from Fremont County.
Let me stop this for a second. Let me read, when he reads 1927-19, section 8, that this rule, this entire rule is the Idaho Title 19 is the criminal procedure. Chapter 27 has to do with execution, which Chad Daybell qualifies for based on his conviction. And the particular part says the time limit provided in subsection 7 of this section for deposition, that's a post-conviction challenge. The time limit provided may be extended only upon showing extraordinary circumstances which would make it impossible to fairly consider defendant's claims in the time provided. Such showing must be made under oath, and the district court's finding that extraordinary circumstances exist for extending the time shall be in writing and shall be immediately reported to the Supreme Court, which shall at once independently consider sufficiency of the circumstances shown and determine whether an extension of time is warranted. So they have some sort of motion that I'm not sure if it's automatic. It sounds like it's not an automatic appeal, but it has to do with the fact that Mr. Daybell is currently on death row. They are brand new lawyers. This is not his previous lawyer who he sold his house to pay for. This is a new set of lawyers. They're coming in. That's why he's saying, hey, we're brand new to this. You guys lived and breathed this for 3 years. We just barely got here. And so we're trying to show that we cannot, it's impossible for us to catch up on everything we need to and make the filing in the time frame, which they have 90 days from conviction to do. So that's what they're asking for. They're asking for an extension on the time frame to file something.
Is 6,592 pages of transcripts and 10,246 pages of record. All of the trial exhibits that were able to be sent via flash drive, less any of the physical evidence. And that's just in Mr. Daybell's case. That's to say nothing of Lori Vallow Daybell's case from 2023, which we believe is incumbent on us to obtain at some point, since Mr. Pryor was privy to that entire proceeding. So as successor counsel, we have also attempted to obtain our client's file. We've received approximately 14 terabytes of digital materials from Mr. Pryor. We didn't even originally have the server space for a file of this size in our office. We've been told that it is the unexpanded size of the zipped files, and that is likely to increase as we expand the unzipped files in order to access them. And so for those of us who are somewhat unfamiliar or operate in this new realm of terabytes,
that is tons.
I've been converting that, and it's the equivalent of 20,000 compact discs that were delivered to our office. So we are having to completely reinvent our processing and indexing procedures due to the volume of the material we've received in this case. We're in the process of contracting with outside tech firms or imaging firms in order to process, download, expand, index, and make readable much of the information that we've received from prior counsel. That being said, I can also share with your honor how we have approached the state appellate public defender these cases in the past. We would normally, when we obtained this case, we didn't even have the record until after we filed that initial petition, either the record or the transcript. We were unable to observe or attend any of those proceedings. And so other than nominal, media reports, we were largely unfamiliar with any details of the case. We would normally read the record and transcript in a case upon receiving it, and then file an amended petition, as we've indicated with our notice, with our identified claims, and that would be filed from a more informed, better educated position. In the meantime, as we work through all of those materials, we're collecting as much information as we can and conducting our own investigation. We do not believe at this point that hardly any mitigation work was done by Mr. Pryor, and so we will largely be starting from scratch. In a normal case, we would sort of be piggybacking on what trial counsel had already accomplished. But understanding that this, once if we are granted the opportunity to file an amended petition, understanding that this discovery is discretionary in this case, in these cases, we've then made our motions for discovery orders, subpoenas, ducis tecum, depositions, and interrogatories. And then once that occurs, if any of those are granted, we have then asked to be allowed to file a final amended petition aggregating all of that information into a petition with all of the admissible evidence that we would want considered along with those claims that we've identified, along with the information that we've been able to uncover in our own investigations. So we also usually withdraw several claims that our investigations have not borne out at that point. In the past, in other cases, we have waived the state's requirement to file any dispositive motions on the original petition after the amended petition, and instead suggested that the state not file a motion for summary dismissal until after the final amended petition had been completed and submitted with all of our attached materials. At that time, then the case proceeds like a typical post-conviction with your honor ruling on motions to dismiss, ordering evidentiary hearings, etc. In short, as of today, we still do not even know what we do not know in this case. Consequently, what I would be asking for, your honor, and I know this is a big ask based on what your honor has already set out.
You meant ask.
We would be asking to set out yet another status conference 90 days from now in order to return in early November and let your honor know exactly where we are at once we have a better sense of what we are dealing with just with the sheer volume of the case.
Okay, we're going to pause for just a second. What this basically means, we're not going to watch all of this, and I think it actually cuts off here in just a minute because we jumped in about 20 minutes late. I was trying to watch at 1.25 speed. The gentleman in the top left-hand corner up above me, these guys are the new lawyers for Chad Daybell. They are are in charge of filing motions related to his convictions. Can you read the 14 terabytes of documents? Sure, I'll get right on it, Greeners. Right on it. I'll just put in that request now. They're in charge of filing motions that have to do with his conviction, like so any post-conviction motion. If there's an appellate type issue, they'd file that. If there are specific motions related to why, even after being sentenced to death, that would not be applicable in this case, they would file those motions. But a lot of these motions have a very tight deadline. They need to be like right in there. 90 days after a conviction, that's really soon. And with all this data, they're saying we just can't do that. So they're asking the judge, make an extension. The judge is saying the way the law is written, it basically, you have to say it's impossible, like physically not possible to do that. And yeah, you're talking about 14 terabytes of data and 20,000 disks. If you had 20,000 people to review it, could you get it done? Yes. That means it's possible. Okay, that's the standard the judge is coming at them with. Okay, he's saying that means it's possible. So I don't think they're going to get this filed, which will mean that in order to get this done, they're going to rush motions to beat the deadline, and then hopefully be able to get some sort of supplemental motion attached to it as they get more information and sort of glean what they want to try to. They're not going to have much time at all to get this done. So busy days ahead for Ian Thompson and crew. But good news, they upgraded their office servers, so now they can handle 14 terabytes of files. That is a lot. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. All right, so you're saying there's a chance. Yes, there's a chance that they can get it done, and it sounds like that if they want to do it, they've got to spend some money here. All right, so we're gonna jump from that. I think we're gonna go back to, let's see, we have, where are we at? I'm still right here. Let's see who else we had happening. What we had. Oh, let's go live. There we go. I think we had some court I wanted to watch with Judge Cedric Simpson.
This is Deion Chapman.
Where's he?
Conrad, someone on the
There he is.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mulder.
Criminal docket with Judge
Chapman.
Simpson.
Mr. Chapman, can you help me and state your name for the record, please?
There. Deion Chapman, you'll need to unmute. Turn on your camera. Can you hear me? We can hear you. You got a camera? Yep. There you go. We got it. Oh, all right. What are we
You
doing?
interrupted my workout, sir.
Working on days.
He just jumped out of his car. That's
Okay,
what he did.
where
His
is
car
he in
doors
terms
open
of that
behind him.
process?
He was driving.
Hi.
Oh, he was driving.
Mr. Chapman, are you the individual that's waiting on a hearing date, or you're waiting on your assessment? Remind me where you're at.
I have to see my analyst next week, so they can do the substance abuse part of my application. Then I can turn it in. Then I receive my court date.
Okay, I got you. All right, let's just adjourn this out then to September 4th, 2024, 9 a.m. All right?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, Britta.
Calls case People versus Antonio Cherry.
Good
Where
afternoon.
is that?
The public defender Lauren Perry on behalf
Where's
of Mr.
that?
Cherry. Is Mr. Cherry?
I think so. Hello, you got a camera?
Yes.
That wasn't rhetorical. You got to turn it on, bud.
Trying to figure out how to turn it on.
Well, while you figure that out, what's your name?
Antonio Cherry.
Thank you.
Yeah,
There you go. We got you.
I have not been able to get in touch with Mr. Cherry prior to today. I believe he does have a permit.
Lynn from the Cavalcante manhunt. That was a lot
I
of
don't
fun.
have that.
We can say that now that it's over.
Okay. Then I would ask. for-
I just have, well, hold on. When did you get do you have a permit?
Yes, I do. I
When
just had
did
to
you,
wait.
hold on, just slow down. When did you get it?
A couple months ago. I'm just waiting on my birth certificate. She told me
that would be
Hold on.
Okay.
I don't, you said a couple months ago.
Yes.
I don't see it for whatever reason on here.
Lynn, we're glad you got stuck here. It's been awesome. Congratulations on the, on the 6 months as well. Yellow Courthouse.
I'm not picking, for whatever reason, what we ran didn't pick up that he's got a permit. However, that doesn't mean that he doesn't. I just have his status as not licensed.
Okay.
And I don't see anything that was like issued within the past couple months on here. Okay, so here's what we'll do. You said you needed to order a birth certificate.
Yes.
And so how long have you ordered that already?
That should be showing up at any time.
Okay, all right. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to adjourn this out to September 4th, 2024, 9 a.m. as your invite indicates. Make sure to get in touch with your attorney to let them know exactly where you are. Because if it turns out that my record still looks this way, but you've gone in and done everything, we may need you down here just to show proof that you got your license. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is there any way she can send me an email? My lawyer?
Hang on a second. We don't have his email.
I have it as Tony Cherry with some numbers.
Yes.
That's okay. All right. She'll try to do that for you then, sir. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day. Court calls the case People versus Erica Cobb.
Henry Silver on behalf of Pittsfield Township.
Good afternoon, Mr. Public Defender. Ms. Cobb. Ms. Cobb, can you state your name for the record, please?
Erica Cobb.
Your Honor, we're also asking for an adjournment on Ms. Cobb, please. She also is getting paperwork together to submit to the Secretary of State. It sounds like she's very close.
Got it. Okay. All right. Let me adjourn this out then to September 4th, 2024. 9 a.m. Okay, ma'am?
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
All right. You too.
Bye-bye.
Court does call the case People versus Devin Collins.
Henry Silver on behalf of Pittsfield Township.
We have it. Yep.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pay on behalf of Mr. Collins, who should be present via Zoom.
Collins, you'll need to unmute, turn your camera on. Oh, there he is. All right. What's your name, sir?
Devin Collins.
Okay, we got it. Okay, what are we doing?
Thank you, Your Honor. We are respectfully requesting one final adjournment in this matter. Mr. Collins believes that he is now eligible for his license as of this month, but he still needs to go to the Secretary of State to double check and make that happen. So we're just respectfully requesting a 3 to 4 week adjournment if the court would allow.
Okay, so he thinks he's eligible now to get it back. Is that right, sir?
Yeah, I just got off the phone with Secretary of State. They told me
like, I can't hear you.
I gotta come up there because I get my license back on the 30th. I have to renew. I just talked to him to get the right date. I have to go up there on the 30th to get it renewed and everything. So I can't do nothing today. But on the 30th, I can go up there and have things taken.
The 30th of this month.
Yeah, this month.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In case there's a hiccup, I'm gonna put yours out a little bit further.
Okay.
I'm gonna adjourn this out to the 18th of September.
Well, thank you.
2024 at 9. That way, I don't want to put it on the 4th in case there's a hiccup.
Okay, we've got the court documents for the Rust trial.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Have a good one.
The judge's response.
Mr. Collins, you can log off now.
Goodness.
Yes, I'll try to recall. Court recalls the case People versus Derek Sellers.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate on behalf of Mr. Sellers, who I believe is now present via Zoom.
I think we have to take
Mr. Sellers, can you unmute and state your name for us?
Derek Sellers? No.
Mr. Jenkins dressed
Derek
nicely for-
Sellers.
Okay, he's 359. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are respectfully requesting a 2 to 3 week adjournment in this matter.
Why?
I'll adjourn this matter to
Hello?
August 20. Yeah, sir. I'll adjourn your case to August 21st, 2024, 9 a.m.
Okay, August 21st, what time, sir?
Well, I set it at 9, but keep in contact with your attorney. They'll tell you which block you're in.
Right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All
Thank you,
right.
Mr. Sellers. You can hang up now, Mr. Sellers. Thank you.
Oh, all right.
Okay,
Next, we're in the French interpreter.
you may.
Thank you. Ms. Messina, can you please
We're
turn
gonna,
on
we're
your
gonna skip
camera,
the French
unmute,
interpreter
and
for
raise your
just a
right
minute.
hand to
We're going to skip the French interpreter. We're going to go to lunch because Judge Boyd's at lunch. We want to catch the sentencing decision from the jury when that happens. And we also have a huge spicy. Let me show you what this looks like. It is. I'll give you a quick tease. Check this out. This is New Mexico. Alex Baldwin. Says order granting defendant Alec Baldwin's expedited motion for dismissal and sanctions under Brady, Giglio, and Rule 5-501. This is the court responding and granting sanctions. This is the court's final word on that case. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be incredible. It's a big document. We're going to start reading that after lunch. Watching for, of course, Judge Boyd coming back from lunch and getting the verdict in that one. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully during lunch, I'm going to figure out how to get my Stream Deck to work because I rely on it so much, and I use it to build our overlays and our views. And right now, all I've got is like this one. So I need to get that working. So if I can figure out how to go to lunch using this new setup, I think it's like this. Ooh, nailed it. First try. All right. Coming to you live from the Airbnb on vacation. It's beautiful outside. Absolutely beautiful. Take a look at this. So we've got you got the mountains, you got the wind. I think they're doing some lawn care work out there somewhere. There was a lawnmower. Where's the mower dude? Gotta find him. Where is he at? I don't know. Everybody, there he is. We're gonna spy on these lazy guys as they're supposed to be weeding around the volleyball court, but look at this. Just standing around, doing nothing. Get to work, I say, get to work. All right, we're gonna go to lunch. Maybe they're at lunch too, you never know. All right, I can hear the weed eaters still revving, so their boss thinks they're working. They're keeping the motor going. All right, we'll be back from lunch in just a little bit. I don't know exactly when. I wish I could tell you, but look at this, Catherine. Thank you very much. Gifted a membership right at the tail end. Thank you, Catherine. Appreciate the generosity. That one went to Barb's. Congratulations, Barb's. Tonight, when you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone to make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live in about an hour, roughly. If you see Judge Boyd come back, shoot me a message on the burner phone. We'll jump back in as soon as that happens. So, you guys, I'm loving vacation. Thanks for making this possible. Really, I don't say that lightly. I appreciate all those who helped and made this possible, so that we could be here and spend time with family and friends and be able to have some fun as well. We'll see you guys after lunch. Have a good one.